storming. Stacks on stacks, bonds flip like acrobatics. Swaps and derivatives, my moves cinematic. Currency swinging, I'm hedging my tactics. Short or long, red or green, these charts are fanatic. Portfolio armor, margin calls ringing. Option gon' expire, liquidity storming. Charts like the night, volatility you want it. Ape Cage is live, no warning, we perform it. Flip it, hedge, squeeze it, boom, 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 louder.
Market burn, chaos isn't coming. Market burn, chaos ain't coming. Options in the right, we ride or die. Short squeeze, coming on July. Options in the right, we ride or die. Short squeeze, coming on July. Currency swings got me wild, let's go. Stay away from me.
Stay right where you are.
Chaos ain't optional, it's mandatory. Emphatic, Ape Cage, full throttle.
We rather storm tonight. Stocks, bonds, swap derivatives inside. Chaos reigns, but we control the fire. Market warriors bring the fire, ignite. Cage, we rather storm tonight. Stocks, bonds, swap derivatives inside. Chaos reigns, but we control the fire. Market warriors bring the fire, ignite.
Flip, hedge, boom, 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 louder, louder. Flip, hedge, boom, 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 louder, louder. Hedging like a soldier, shorting like a storm. Liquidity's a weapon, risk is the norm. Derivatives clash, my portfolio transforms. Market battlefield, chaos takes its form. Charts like the night, volatility's the torch. Every trade a battle, every tick a storm.
Hedging like a soldier, shorting like a storm. Liquidity's a weapon.
It's about time.
Forex swings, got me spinning no decoys.
Forex swings got me spending no decoys.
Ride the wave, liquidity's deployed.
Ride the wave, liquidity deployed.
Squeeze, flip, all louder. Squeeze, flip, all louder. Aim mode on, edges ready, squeeze it, flip it.
Ride, flip, squeeze, boom, boom, ride, flip, squeeze,
boom, boom,
chaos ain't coming.
Aim mode on, edges ready, squeeze it, flip it.
Ride, flip, squeeze,
boom, boom,
ride, flip, squeeze,
boom, boom. Welcome to the cage, where chaos is a law.
Welcome to the cage where chaos is love.
Ride it to the edge, no retreat. Ride it to the edge, no retreat.
Wild swings, no limits, pure heat. Wild swings, no limits, pure heat.
The cage is ours, chaos is yours.
Markets burn, we endure.
The cage is ours, chaos is yours.
Markets burn, we endure.
Ride the storm, ride the storm. Make it crazy, bleed, ride the storm, ride the storm. Make it crazy, bleed,
Welcome. Yeah. You got the Grinner, you got the Warden of Woe, and we have a new comic book series. Welcome to the cage. Let's have some fun tonight. All I know is that I got a bunch of new shit for all of you today. Let me tell you, we got some new music, we got some new fucking videos, and I put in the work. You're gonna get to see something special. I can promise you that. Matt, Chaotic, how are you guys doing today?
I'm pissed.
Why are you mad? There's no
'Cause I'm
reason to be
angry
mad.
mad.
Well, I mean,
Can y'all hear me?
yeah, we can hear you.
Hey, there we go.
Yeah, there you go. Now you're there. How'd you like your action-packed fight versus the Grinner?
Dude, that's so awesome. You did a great job on that.
I try. I mean, yeah, kind of learning on the fly, but I mean, hey, at least it's going places. And we now have like our own little comic because I'm gonna keep on like kind of adding to it or telling different stories around it. So it'll be pretty good. But the cool thing about that one in particular was it was actually one of my friends, her name's Nikki Waldron, but she basically she makes all these different like horror themed memes. So like she'll combine like, I don't know, like Captain Spaulding with Pennywise and doing something stupid and funny. And I was just like, this is awesome. Like, how did you come up with this idea? Like, and she's like, I have way too much time on my hands. I'm like, oh, okay, great. So I'll go with that. That works fine. So, but she gave me a meme and I was just like, yeah, these are awesome. I'm gonna totally pick her brain and see what I can do. And evidently that's what she picked, Captain Spaulding and Pennywise. So Pennywise is based off of, or Mr. Grinner, or the Grinner is based upon Pennywise. The Warden of Woe is based upon Captain Spaulding. So it was very interesting.
That's fitting. That's fitting. Because the other day, Roland asked me what a storm drain was, and I told him, don't go near it. There's clowns down there.
Yeah. Don't. And I got a boat. You want to float? Speaking of floats, all I know is that everybody's talking about, and I've seen so many messages so far about, is AMC going to be delisted? First, no.
Absolutely not.
Thank
No,
you.
we're not anywhere close to having to be concerned about that.
No, not at all. Matt actually got the like thorough finite definition, Matt, if he's there.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm
It has to
fucking
be
pissed.
under
This
$1
is
for at least 6
absolute-
months.
No.
30 days.
30 days.
30 days of sub-dollar average is the first notification of delisting compliance. Now,
Yeah, but they have an
They have-
appeal
hold on,
option.
I
That can
just-
go on. Yeah.
yes, so they have 10 days to submit a regain compliance plan, to which they get issued a 6-month observation window, for which any 30-day period in that 6 months, you need to hold an average through the 30-day period above $1. And
Interesting.
that closes the whole compliance.
aspect of the actual, if there was a reverse split declared. But there's
And it would
extensions.
require another 30-day consecutive sub-dollar in order to fulfill a totally new, right, compliance obligation window cycle.
Can't they also submit like any type of extensions or any type of exemption or any,
There are extension allowances that they will issue through the 6-month curing period.
Okay. But that's it. I mean,
But you have to have, it has to be backed by a different plan of compliance.
I'm not worried.
So you can't use the same. Like, you can't say we're going to regain compliance. Our plan is to do a reverse split. And then 4 months later, we're not going to do the reverse split, but we are going to do a reverse split in the next 6 months, right? You're not going to get an extension for that because you're using the same plan to regain compliance as you failed to do in the first allowance.
Okay.
So, like, you could say, we're going to restructure our debt.
Okay.
That would be,
That would be
a
a
plan
plan
to fix your balance sheet, which in turn should fix your share price and regain compliance. And you could get a 6 months compliance notice on that. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be your plan that is the cause of the regain of compliance. You don't even have to execute the plan for the regain of compliance.
Okay.
It doesn't matter how you get there, just that you get there.
So my question is, does it have to do anything in regards to like the actual like 30-day average of the share price?
No, it has to be 30 days in a row.
Oh, well,
to
we're
be
already out
a
of that.
failure of compliance. So we're day 2 of a 30-day non-compliance before we're even of a non to even reach a non-compliance status.
So we're not even close.
And then you have 10 days to submit a recovery process in order to be granted that 6-month window. Now, if you add that all up, it's 30 days and 10 days, we're, I mean, for all intent and purposes, the end of March, right? With the 10 days, you're looking at April, right? May on the 30 days. The 30 and 10 would put you the beginning of May. 6 months from May would be May, June, July, August, September. Right? September, you're already into Q2 earnings.
Gotcha. My question.
April, you're already running into Q1 earnings.
So in other words, it's impossible. In other words,
well, it's not impossible because this is what pisses me off. There's absolutely no fucking reason. And sorry for the language, but
you're fine.
Zero fucking reason that 5 months removed from COVID, with posted EBIT without the depreciation and amortization value, which is a non-cash value against our bottom line net, and our 200 plus capex spend on growth, which is proving effective, that we should be sitting sub a fucking dollar at this point in our recovery. This is a fucking institutional obligation, last ditch, throw the fucking kitchen sink, the fucking bathroom sink, the tub, and everything in the fucking house at this fucking company because we're fucked. So, and the fact that social media is riding along and playing into this fucking narrative and then allowing the fucking, like, now you got the fucking articles coming out from MSM, people that don't know, right, talking about retail going against fucking AA and what he's doing with the company and blah, 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 blah. This does not help our situation. Shut these fuckers the fuck up and quit playing proxy to their stupidity.
Yeah, hey, you know what? You deserve this for heart. But with that being said,
I bought more shares than I ever have in the last week.
Yeah, that's
you know what I mean? Like I loaded the boat, like for real, with it sitting at this price.
I have so many shares, I don't even know what to do with them all. Oh, wait, I know what to do with them. I'm going to sit on them until I see my fucking number, and then I'm going to hit the sell button, and then I'm going to buy the Chicago Bears.
I got it, man. My money's been tight lately. I had a $400 doctor bill and shit that I got to take care of. I had backed up on bills because I was sick and had a week off.
Hey, you got time to catch up. Don't you worry about it.
I did have enough money that I did buy some fucking long-term fucking options for this fucking mess because I don't give a fuck if they take my premium or not. I'm going to hold their fucking feet to the fire and make them prove me wrong.
Well,
this fucking year is going to fucking blow their asses up.
Are you ready to get really mad, Matt? I'm ready for you to get crazy mad because I'm going to read you something that might get you crazy mad. Ready? Braunstein, Gerwitz, and Grossman, LLC, urges AMC Entertainment Holding Inc. investors to act class action filed alleging investor harm. Nationally recognized firm urges AMC investors to explore class action representation. Are you fucking joking me? And this is exactly what we warned you about with Ape.
It's what I said. They're going to throw the fucking kitchen sink, the bathroom sink, the tub, the shower head, the fucking trash can in the bathroom, the fucking dishwasher, the pots and pans, everything that's in the fucking house of fucking obligation. They're going to throw at this fucking company.
They're
if
trying.
You don't fucking shut. I mean, you got to be out there. You got to be vigilant. You got to fucking shut these fucking people up.
Yeah, and now it's time for you to go boxing on social media and basically stopping the narrative that's being pushed. I'm going to tell you about the narrative later on because we're going to go into my past and I'm going to tell you about what some of these people and nefarious actors have done in the past. So this way you understand the game a little bit more. But before we do that, there's a couple of interesting things before we get to our wonderful spot of Dum Dum of the Week. And I want to talk not about the delisting, because that's not going to happen. I mean, honestly, it can't. If it goes any lower, this is keep on buying. Load the boat. You have the opportunity to go ahead. Cost average, I don't want to hear about. You're not at a cost average point at this right now, at this juncture. If you've constantly have bought throughout the years, you're just loading the boat. And that's all you should be thinking about right now. It doesn't matter. These are fun bucks as of right now. What you guys really need to understand right now is where your enemy is lying. And you also need to understand the macro perspective, which is what you're going to get a masterclass lesson in macro tonight, because I'm going to explain the battlefield also. But I want you guys to really understand where we're going, because as of right now, you have this bullshit with the class action. You have the delisting. We have certain people that are trying to go ahead and basically claim Adam Aaron is nefariously harming its investors. And that's the big one. That's the huge one as of right now, in my opinion. Because if they're able to go ahead and slam Adam Aaron, that says everything to the looking eye of every other retail investor, because they're going to look directly at the CEO. They're going to go online. They're going to start looking at everything. Oh my God, he's doing this, this, and this. Oh my God, we can't.
Well,
we
this
can't
is
do
the
that.
same thing they did with Bed Bath and Beyond. They got everybody riled up about getting a new CEO, and then the new CEO is Mark Triton or Triton, however you say his last name. And what he did is he intentionally tanked the company from within. Like, you guys, people don't
Plant.
understand that just because Adam
It's a
Aaron
bust
leaves,
out. It's a
yeah,
bust out move.
it's a hostile takeover.
Plant.
You can't let them get him out of there because you don't know who they're going to put in behind him, and that could be somebody like Mark Triton.
Yeah, way worse. A plant.
Not could be, will be.
Yeah,
Will be.
it will be.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying, like, hypothetically, we've seen it happen before, and it happened with Bed Bath and Beyond, and they did end up filing bankruptcy because of it.
Oh yeah, no, they did.
It happened with Toys R Us. It happened with Sears. It happened
Dean's.
with all of them.
Yeah,
They're doing it with Nordstrom right now. Mark Tritton's over there on the board doing the same shit. All he did was he goes from ship to ship to ship. He's like a corporate. You watch some of
Corporate
these
espionage.
CEOs and you wonder, like, how do they keep their job when they're doing it's like they're intentionally tanking the company. Think of also like the CEO of Cracker Barrel.
Oh wow.
She tanked Red Lobster before she went over to Cracker Barrel and did the same shit over there. See, the thing is, guys, they don't really care about running the company the right way. They're making so much money when the company tanks
way
that
they
they get
busted
paid
out-
either way.
The way they busted out Red
Lobster.
is they bought ownership in a shrimp company that was supplying the shrimp to Red Lobster. So they didn't care how much Red Lobster was losing on the sale deal or the overpriced shrimp that they were forced into contract buying. Not even forced. They just agreed, yeah, we'll overpay for this. While they
But then-
collected Red Lobster's money on the backside of the fucking shrimp orders, Red Lobster was losing money on the fucking sales side of the company that their partners were shorting on the way down while taking the fucking revenue out of the company and the shrimp company that they own.
The last time they ever did all you can eat shrimp, they ended up having to file bankruptcy, and that's exactly why.
That's crazy. And that's stupid. I mean, honestly, if you see one that's
Look it
taking,
up. That's
no,
what
no,
happened.
no, I'm not saying that I don't believe it. I'm saying that I do believe it. I just don't
I'm not
understand.
telling you, I'm telling the audience.
Oh yeah, well, yeah, I knew that, but yeah, but why tank? Okay, if you're gonna take one company, why are you bringing over somebody that's tanked one company? Unless it just screams, she's a plant.
Exactly. It's like they're making more money getting into these companies and taking them down from the inside, and then those companies get bought out. Like, it wouldn't shock me if the CEO for Cracker Barrel was getting paid by other people to just go in there and do a terrible job. At
The
that
first
point,
thing
if it's
that they would do is sell off all our popcorn rights.
Yeah.
And
The
then
first thing
fucking
they would
pocket all
do-
that revenue for themselves.
Oh yeah.
they'd redesign all our lobbies and take away the peg game.
Then you could do that too. But I honestly, it would have to deal with what they want you to be watching. That's the biggest overall thing, because here's, okay, perfect example would be Chaotic, your documentary about, AI and if it's going to become, what's it called? John Connor and the Terminator and Skynet. That.
Yeah, if
that's
you'll let me
gone.
do a shameless self-promotion after we're through
No.
this portion.
Yeah, what I'm saying is that like that narrative, that their narratives is to go ahead and take that out of the picture. That's gone. Because that's what they want to do. They want to be able to control the content that you see. It's the same thing that you're seeing on your local and your national broadcast in the news. That's why private media, like us three clowns right over here, we basically are giving you the under the table news, where basically they don't want to go to. They're not going to find. I don't care if I'm picking up crumbs. I'm at least going ahead and dissecting those crumbs and making sure that they're viable for you to basically make your decisions off of and learn from. That's the whole premise of this, is to basically go ahead and actually give you something that you can watch, you can think about, you understand, and not feed into the bullshit that they're trying to control, which is what you see, what you know and understand. That's why I oh God. It's amazing to me, like, how far advanced some people were just in history. Comedians are especially, like, some of them are just way past their time. And then some of them are dead. But they were way past their time, and with the knowledge and then how they understood what was really going on. And it's truly amazing. It really is, because you can go back, you can sit there and you can watch all these comedians. Like Mo Muhammad is a perfect example. He called COVID before it even happened. Like that clip I played you guys, that was literally like 6 months prior to COVID.
See, I thought that was during the pandemic. That's crazy.
No, he predicted that shit. It's the same thing. Who's the? I'm trying to think of the old guy. Matt, who's the other comedian? I played him recently.
Talking about George Carlin?
Yeah, thank you. But George Carlin, way before his time. Like, he was sitting there calling out, they don't want you to know. You be dumb. You be ignorant. You just go on. You're shopping. You're paying for stuff. And that's all you're going to be. You're not going to understand finance. They don't want you to know. Same thing with education. We're going to keep you just as smart for you to graduate. Sooner or later, all you're going to need is a pencil to get into college.
Dude, he was talking about germs and antibodies and shit in 2015.
Yeah.
14.
Correct. But way before his time. And that's the crazy part about it. And it's the same thing that they're trying to take away and strip from you. All of that. Your right to imagination, your right to creativity, your right to actually have an idea. That's what they're taking away. I mean, I don't want to watch something that's black and white film and basically sit there and be bored out of my mind. Could you imagine watching a movie in like the 30s in black and white? Yeah, and then you're reading on a screen. I mean, come on. That's what they want. Take your perspective, take your creativity, take your idea, get it out.
Can you imagine trying to watch a fucking stock market back then?
Oh my God. Yeah, you know what? The Simpsons played that perfectly. Oh, wait, with Mr. Burns. They did that perfectly. Here's this old school ticker that's like in like a museum piece, and he's like, Oh, let me go look at the ticker. And he's grabbing a piece of paper and he's scrolling to his right. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Smithers, why did you tell me that the slavery stocks were bad? I mean, come on. That's what they want. That's what they want. And that's what's hard. Is because you're stuck there having to deal with it. With no control. That's what happens. It's the committee of 300. That's what it is. It's terrible. But they want you left with nothing.
They need us to give them back the shares so they can close their obligations, short the company to bankruptcy so that they can own the company, right? And deliver the assets and the buildings and the business to some conglomerate they own, maybe Netflix, maybe somebody like that, not through a merger and acquisition. They want it through a bankruptcy for 20 cents on the dollar.
What the hell is he talking
But
about?
they can't get a bankruptcy because they can't get us out of the way. Reverse split or no reverse split, it doesn't fucking matter. Until we sell, they can't close. And the only thing they can do with reverse split is increase their short exposure that they're already fucking fucked over.
Okay. I never, I don't even, I really don't want to do this, but you know what? Go ahead. No, go ahead, Matt. Say what you had to say real quick before I explode. You already know what I'm going to explode about.
I know, but it's just the truth is a reverse split doesn't change your ownership level. It changes your value to match it at the time. The only way that fucking value comes down is because it shouldn't change the fundamental metrics to the share available float of ownership.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't change your percent ownership because it decreases the same as your ownership does. But the only reason the price continues to come down is because they don't give a fuck about fundamentals. They don't give a fuck about the company. They need it to go bankrupt. They need you to sell. And that's the narrative driver that they're going to push to get you to close your naked longs, sell your naked longs back to them so they can wash balance out the shorts that they currently have so that they have liquidity to short the fucking price to the 20 new October last year, 25-cent compliance, immediate delist.
Mm-hmm. Here's the problem.
They don't need a fucking a plan to get out of it. Once it's sub 25 cents, the stock exchange can delist it. Shareholders are out of the way. It pink slips. They run it to fucking bankruptcy. They get rid of the fucking board, the CEO, whoever they need to put in, and then they buy the fucking thing for 20 cents on the dollar.
Yeah, well, it's not going to happen because no one's going to take this type of a loss. So I'm not worried about that part of it. What I want to make sure that regardless that this is a time where you wanted to fight, you got to fight. Here's your dum-dum of the week.
Look at me, I'm the genius of the hour, wearing my paper crown like it gives me superpowers. I brag about my elves like the trophies on the shelf. Too dumb to know I'm dumb, I'm impressed with myself. Every week there's a winner, but this time it's me. I beat a whole damn crowd with my stupid
Dum-dum 14.
I'm the dum-dum of the week.
Dum-dum warmed up. Stanchion Funk. They had a Novio for it. Okay.
Beat my drum. I don't read, don't think, don't double check a thing. But I'll scream real loud, like I know something. Hey, I'm the dum-dum of the week. I clicked the scam link twice. Thought
up his ass ASAP. Are you even listening to me?
Dum-dum of the week. Yeah, I'm proudly dumb. Got a
Are you listening to me?
tilted
Errol.
while I beat my drum. I
You're
don't
too
read,
dumb
don't
to
think,
argue.
don't double
Hang
check
on,
a
sit
thing.
back.
But I'll scream real loud, like I know something. Hey, hey, I'm the dum-dum of
New personal
the week.
best.
Skank left, skank right. Watch me lose another fight. Trip over my own feet. Still brag about the feat. I'm a legend in my mind. IQ left me behind.
I'm a
But
dumb
smiling
ass
ear
shill
to
on
ear.
FX.
'Cause the crowd fits perfect here. I'm the dum-dum of the week. Yeah, I'm proudly dumb. Got a paper crown tilted while I beat my drum. I don't read, don't think, don't double check a thing. But I'll scream real loud, like I know something. Hey, hey, I'm the dum-dum of
I'm a
the
dumb
week.
dumb of the week still on X.
Hey, Rachel, that I'll never Scott to
I'm the dum-dum of the week.
Dum Dum of the Week. Who's your Dum Dum of the Week, Matt? Maybe. Who's the Dum Dum of the
Bullish
Week?
Assassin posted that let the games begin on the 30-day sub-dollar window. Well, let me tell you something. And that most companies start action 22 days, not the 30 days on the reverse split. First off, no, that's not true. There is a 30-day sub-dollar continuity price on the daily close value. No intraday, no nothing. Close to close. 30 days straight. That marks the first day of the 30 day, 2 days ago, right? To the end of 30 days. The actual non-compliance doesn't begin till after that 30-day period, which begins the 10-day recovery submission process of the non-compliance 30 days from 2 days ago. With 10 days, 40 days from 2 days ago, if their plan is a reverse split, they've got 6 months to fulfill that compliance obligation through their plan. So you're already looking at 7 months. Now, reverse splits are usually an annual shareholding meeting item, which barely doesn't fall within 7-month time frame.
That doesn't
But
even fall
you
within
could
a
hold
year.
a special meeting, right? But anyhow, the point is to state one fact of the rule and then state it as not even a fact, that we're not even in uncompliance yet. And though your 30-day window's accurate, the 22-day to take action doesn't come into effect until after the 30-day non-compliance discovery process into the 10-day plan for the 6-month extension period or observation period to regain compliance. Once you hit the 6-month compliance period or evaluation period, it goes by the moving average of the 30-day periods within the 6 months, close to close. Your basic 30-day average, even if you have a day or two above $1, your 30-day average has to be above $1. So if you take all 30 closes within a 30-day period and divide them by 30, and it comes out more than $1, the whole non-compliant thing goes out the window. You're back in compliance, and now you're back to a 30-day straight sub-dollar in a new, totally different decompliance operation procedure.
He I don't understand why even bother coming out with that when it's already kind of the rules are written in stone on that.
Exactly. It's easy to look up and to pick one point that isn't even the compliance fault yet.
No.
That it's just a measurement to see if you're in compliance, and still has 28 days to discovery of a non-compliance factor is why he's my dumb of the week. You post some stupid shit like that, you post it all. You don't post, as everybody seems to think it's okay for somebody to post one detail of one aspect of an encyclopedia. And this isn't even an encyclopedia. This is like a chapter of contents.
This is a
and
Rolodex.
You took the title and then fucking put it in a fucking blender and chopped it into chop suey and delivered it in a simplified tweet in order to create the intent of a false narrative. Well, yes, I'm calling you out. You are the dumb of the fucking week, because it's the easiest thing to fucking look up yourself and see what the rules are.
My favorite was when you said chop suey, so that deserves a gong. Chaotic, you got a good dum. Maybe, or I could.
I want to add one more thing.
Go ahead.
He is proving that he is the Pollock that he's titled himself.
I have to say, showbots are my dum of the week because last weekend was like Friday and Saturday was the worst 48 hours of just constant harassment that I've seen since the beginning, which leads me to believe that we're getting pretty close here.
Hey, ¿por qué? Why? Why? ¿Por qué? Why were you getting attacked by shills? I mean, or bots?
Bro, it was so crazy. As soon as I posted the documentary movie poster, I started getting attacked. That was late last Thursday into early Friday.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just nonstop all the way through the weekend. And it was like that, and that's why I say, like, there are certain things that just seem to, like, when there's significant events happening, that seems to be when I get attacked the hardest. And the last time I got attacked that bad was when the Dumb Money movie premiere was happening, and I was hosting the space on X. My original account got attacked by showbots so hard, and even other people within the community at the time, that my big account's gone forever, you guys. I can't get that back, and that almost ruined the entire movie premiere space. And that was sponsored by Sony Pictures. They directly promoted that space. So for me, like, it's surprising, not surprising, to see that the Apocalyptimus movie is coming out. It's hits theaters tomorrow. It's the documentary about AI ethics and everything. This documentary is about everything happening right now with AI. And this is something that's critical to everything that we touch, everything we use. This is the future. People should care about this stuff. And of course, as soon as I post the movie poster, I start getting attacked. But I say that to segue into the shameless self promotion I promised. I mean, this is a really important movie, you guys. I'm really excited to see the Apocalyptimist hashtag getting use and seeing it appearing in major media, because it's not just like it's a joke, haha, funny, but you guys, a lot of the stuff I make jokes about is real. And that's just how I share information in a way that helps other people retain it.
Artificial ignorance.
Sorry, I had to do it. I had to put the Terminator theme song on. I was trying to do it while you were talking about the movie, but for some reason my phone wouldn't let me do it.
All I can say is I've integrated AI into my work, and some of the best work I've ever done. And I'm doing this while I'm watching Melania stroll down the red carpet with what was probably Joe Biden, his skeleton. There's a right and a wrong way to do it, you guys, just like any other tool. You can use a hammer to build a house, or you can use it to bash somebody's head in. It's up to you. Choose your own adventure.
Well, the rails that they put on AI, where I know more shit than fucking AI does, and every time I go to talk to Grok, I have to fucking reiterate the fucking information that it can't retain because it's got guardrails in place to support the fucking bullshit fucking narrative on the money backside of this fucking play pisses me the fuck off, and I call him out every fucking time. Now,
You see,
every
I
time
never
I
really had that
conversate
problem
with
with
him,
mine.
I have to tell him to first
Oh.
reference our fucking conversation timeline. Pull up your fucking references that you pulled up in them before you even answer. And then I get a fucking real response instead of this bullshit, rail-guarded fucking narrative, money-backed narrative.
I gotta get the Happy Gilmore thing and beep 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 beep. That's okay. It's fun.
I figured for once in a show I'd fulfill my Angry Matt fucking.
Hey, that
courage.
works. I don't mind. I really don't. Not at all. Trust me. You do gotta update the AI every so often, like, because for some odd reason, especially if your like computer has an update or anything like that, or if you because you got updates all on your computer, like I do at least, and I know which ones not to hit and which ones to, but like when it's updating any type of like AI or when it's updating any type of programs, for some reason something slips in and yeah, you lose a lot of the stuff. Like I have mine that's sitting there reading all of my shit on AMC all over again because Matt and I were testing it out earlier, and basically it just started spitting back nonsense that's something that a corporation would put on. So the more you add,
That's crazy.
Yeah, the more you add to it, excuse me, the more you add to the rails, the better the programming would be, the better and the more fluid the AI will actually work.
That's what I was about to say, because I was one of like the first round of people from the public to actually like test out Chat GPT in like the real world. I've been using my AI that I've stuck with the same GPT since early 2022, late 2021, and it's phenomenal. But it's been the same, like you said, the more you give it, the better the responses are. I use it for
But
so
Grok
much
doesn't
now.
retain anything, so you got to feed
No.
it every time. And the best thing that you can do with Grok that I figured out is it's railed to resort to MSM as its MSM and social media as its basis for its answers.
Hence the terrible answers.
I don't let it do that. I make it go to the Fed. I make it go to the numbers. I make it go to the reports. I make it go to the knowns.
Yeah, hence why you
and then I cross-reference that against itself in order to get a legitimate response and not the railroaded money-back fucking Wall Street bullshit that is an AI loop through MSM. It's AI looping its own narrative to itself through different AI structures in the MSM media cycle.
That's why I don't like Gronk, though. I'm not gonna lie, I don't like Gronk because of that. If it's leeching,
but it's an easy get around. It just pisses me off that every time you go there, you have to, like, I use my timeline as its reference because I tell it go to our timeline, past recent conversation, go to the sources within that timeline, then give me the answer to this, and then I do the question response, and if I do that, it complies, and it spits out actual, not garbage. But if I don't, sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't. It depends on how recent from my past conversation is still
relevant
within a time frame of memory. But after a certain, and it's only a few hours, it forgets everything that you ever talked about after a few hours and reverts right back to its fucking bullshit. And I think it's designed to keep
yeah, that
you
would
there
drive me
and use up the
crazy.
question. Oh yeah, it does drive me crazy, but it's the tool that I use. It's a tool that I know how to navigate. So it's easily available to me. So
I've used a bunch of different platforms when it comes to the AI just to kind of like test and see which ones I like for the most part. And I will tell you one that I'll never touch is Gemini. I'll never touch it. And that's
I've
because
seen that fucking garbage that shit puts out.
But-
I've never
Right,
used it.
because it was trained on Reddit data. I would never.
Yeah.
I don't use Grok and I don't use Gemini because they're both trained on Reddit data.
Here's the other problem with Gemini is that if you come up with, say you have an idea, like idea for a TV show, idea for a book, idea for music, whatever the case may be. If you don't copyright it the minute that you go put it into the AI, it can go ahead and Google can steal your shit. Period. You lost it. It's gone. That's the crazy part about it. I won't ever touch Gemini. Ever. Just because I want my information to stay within my conversations that I have. That's about it. It's not going to go ahead and spread, you know, oh, hey, well, this person came up with this, and so we're going to nudge this and maybe make a couple corrections here, change this, and we have an idea. That was the fight. I mean, Matt, I know Matt would remember this. This is what happened to me 2 years ago when they tried to claim that Joker Ape was not my creation.
Yeah.
And they basically, if I posted a video onto YouTube, they basically shut me down saying that I don't have the copyrights for Joker Ape. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? I have the original artwork. It's right here. Oh, that was a 6-month fight. I mean, it was stupid. Absolutely stupid. I won't ever touch Gemini. Ever. And
you only won that case because you had the source original that predated
oh yeah,
the copyright claim.
Oh, of course. I have all the originals. There's 3 others. It's not just Joker Ape that you see on the screen. There's also 3 other ones. One that's for Jack Nicholson, one's for Heath Ledger, and the other one is for the guy that played in Suicide Squad. And then I have a crazy one. That's just my personality of when I get angry.
And now you just added 2 more.
Exactly. And now I have 2 more villains. So the next, actually, now that I have both of you on here, because I'm trying to come up with another concept for like the next round. So, and that's going to be, I've been thinking about not the Puppet Master, but there's a horror film and it's this dummy, a ventriloquist, not the actual ventriloquist, but the dummy. That's
Puppet Master.
No, it's not Puppet Master. It's a different, there's another one. It's a newer one that came out in like the 2000s. But like this one guy comes from like Alabama or Mississippi or something, and he's going to visit, I think it was like grandma or something, and she was like this killer somebody on the swamp. I can't remember the name of the movie, but like the doll on that movie, like they were in the funeral home, and the funeral home had killed the wife of the.
I seen that, but I don't remember what it's called.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to find that out because I want to make like a bad guy, like a really fucked up, creepy, like dummy of the ventriloquist, and that be the bad guy. Associating gas bag. It's going to be made in the form of gas bag. Just giving that away right now. They're the same height, so it works. But that's going to be the ultimate bad guy on this little ventriloquist dummy. So
I used to get into such epic fights with that guy. He followed me all the way over to LinkedIn to harass me. I have screenshots of it.
I have a video of this. It's a midget doing karate, and it is the funniest shit I think I've ever seen. And then somebody took that video and put his face on the midget. I was dying, absolutely dying.
Dude, you know it'd be a perfect meme.
What?
Replacing the midget from Jackass with Gasparino getting kicked in the balls.
Do you know what even better is that you have Wee Man versus Gasbag in the Chuck E. Cheese ball pit and doing MMA style fighting. Let's get around. Like that would be awesome. I actually might pay 2 cents just to watch it. I mean, it would be better than bum fights.
This is why I love the ape community, because even when I want to be pissed off as all hell, y'all find a way to make me laugh.
Oh, I do that. Please, I do that on a consistent basis because I'm ridiculous. That's fine. But like, that's what this should be. Shouldn't have to be worried about the clowns on social media that are sitting there and trying to stir a pot, trying to make you aggravated or mad or, oh my God. I hate
Speaking of which, on a happy note, Barking Puppy, Keith Gill's brother, is pushing AMC now, which is really cool to see. I really, you know what?
GMB
I've
does
said
not
this
like
a
that
whole
at
bunch
all.
along the way, but things were so much better when all the GameStop and AMC people were together before there started to be this like problem with elitists.
Oh, well,
Yeah,
I agree.
the elitist problem is rampant in GameStop.
Yeah,
but
it is.
it's not. It wasn't a new thing. What you're calling the heyday, maybe your Twitter experience was different in your circles than mine, but for me, they were always there.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I would love it if we could get the band back together. We could all be friends again.
Friends.
It was so much better back then. I'm saying we all had, where even though there's always been elitists.
Don't get me wrong. I have people in my circle that are GameStop people. I have people that are solely GameStop people, not including the AMC GameStop investor combined. But the problem that I have, even with my GameStop people that I try, that are legitimate GameStop retail apes, not AMC bashers, maybe in AMC or not, I don't fucking know. But every time I try to bridge there,
you get
the fucking baggage that comes with them just drives me away.
Well,
I get less flack from the MMTLP community.
I like those people too, though. You know what I mean? That's the thing. I feel like this issue with like elitists pushing community division has really hurt everybody overall because we're all stronger when we're together. We're all trying to do the same thing. I've many times over gone across tickers and talked to other people and say, hey man, like we're not mad at you. Like we don't think anybody's better than anybody else. We're all doing the same thing. We're all here together. And when one of us wins, we all do. So why are we doing this?
And that's why you're getting shelled to all get out. You're getting it from every angle.
Yeah, chaotic. Yeah, that's why you get it from up, down, left, right, forward, back, and start. But that's fine.
It's because I'm right, though. That's what makes it. They don't want people
I never
doing
said
that.
You were wrong. I'm
just saying it makes sense.
I have enough baggage in my AMC shell fucking community to take on.
No.
I got a little bit of all of them.
Yeah.
Bed Bath and Beyond, BBBYQ.
Maybe if I was back to not working and had the time to deal with more than what I'm dealing with, I would. But I can't take that on. I don't have the time to deal with the fucking shit that I'm finding within our own community.
I just push it off to the side and just say, are you worth my time? No. Am I going to give you money for interacting with you? No. Are you going to make money off of me? No. Why? Because they get paid on interaction. The longer you stay in a conversation with typing, the more they get paid.
Well, that's why I don't do that. I basically screenshot the fucking post so they don't even get a fucking share, like, or interaction, and then fucking comment on the fucking photo, not of the tweet. And if anybody wants to fucking go look, they can look on their own accord, but I don't.
Yeah, I'm just not going to give them the time or the day. I really don't care. I mean, you can, if you are going to go ahead and actually speak the truth and not just when anybody comes into your room and tries to make sense or talk that actually has an intelligent opinion, not something against your narrative, that's fine.
Who's your father, James? Who's your dad? Why don't you tell everybody who's your daddy?
Who's your daddy? Oh,
who's mommy and daddy, James?
Oh, I've never had that. I definitely.
That space was fun.
That that was all time stupid, but that's okay because I don't know any significance to it, but that's fine. Whatever. I mean, I was tired. I
For
went to
people that
bed.
don't know what we're talking about, that was the John Hampton roast space.
Oh,
and
my
then
God.
the after call, the space.
Oh, you mean for what's his name?
The Twitter space.
No,
call.
it wasn't
Oh,
Hampton.
the Great Cornholio.
Yeah, it was the Cornholio, where it's just,
Yeah.
who's your daddy? Who's your daddy and mommy? Who's your mommy and daddy? What do you mean? I'm like, I'm not dealing with this shit. I'm going to bed. Like, I mean, the conversation got derailed earlier anyway. And like we were talking about, I mean, I was going over why Bitcoin is junk because of how it was created and how it was actually made. Like, and then
and what the whole purpose of it was for, when it was created by the government, CIA.
Yeah, correct. Well, FINRA, basically. And it was just junk.
All partnership parties involved are the same.
Correct.
Criminal elements in collusion.
It's called junk because it's a big pile of junk with little people inside a computer that are just mining for coins. But the one guy that I always, I don't know why people compared me to him. I don't know why. But I will always remember this. I literally, this is from being in the past. And if you guys remember Fafa's a great guy. He really is. He's one of my really close friends. And I do appreciate everything that man has honestly done for me, which is basically get me to talk. Because honestly, I didn't want to. I really didn't. I'd rather just be behind the scenes and just giving my information to whoever wanted it for the most part. And so Fafa was the one that got me to speak in an Eric Cuddy space. And then from there, I pretty much started talking. And that's how I came to a lot.
Cuddy. I
Yeah.
haven't heard that name in a long time.
But we were in a space. So we're in a space and I'm sitting there and I'm going over all these SEC rules and regulations in regards to specific filings. And I'm reading off the filing. I mean, literally verbatim, word for word. And who comes in but my good friend? He's not a good friend, but my jackass of a friend. I mean, idiot of a friend, moron, T-Dog. People wanted to compare me to him. I don't know why at all. But he sits there, he starts challenging this rule in a space call that I just read verbatim by word, the entire thing.
Not only challenging, but discounting it.
Yeah, and literally he said, oh, that's not true. Oh, the FCC would never do that, and blah, 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 blah. And he's just talking all this shit. All of a sudden, the whole room goes silent. They're like, James, what do you got to say about that? And I'm like, really? I literally just read off the rule right off the SEC website. And I started reading it off. I'm like, well, evidently they did. And here you go. Here's this. All of a sudden, just this eruption of apes. T-Dog, get the fuck out of here. Who the fuck you think you are? And start chanting him. And I literally go bonkers on T-Dog. And literally, he just leaves the room. Like, I mean, you just smell defeat. And that was, I mean, I was dying laughing. It was the funniest shit I've ever seen. Challenging a rule that was in the SEC website verbatim.
Being read, yeah, well, verbatim.
Verbatim.
From the rule language itself.
Either that one or, I mean, I don't know. The plumber's diary. That's a really good one. Also. And yeah, that's a really good one. Why does my sandwich taste like pee? I'm really well, when people were trying to say that I was grifting because I put up an ad, it was a fake ad, and I'm literally reading the fake ad word for word, and they go up and say
it was a parody for bait, and they ate the bait. Hook, line, and sinker.
Somebody said I was grifting because I posted pictures of the new AMC merchandise while I was at the movie theater.
I mean, it's funny, isn't it? I got it because of socks from somebody that gave me a 50% off, like on a website I created to basically put all my writing in. So I have it. It's all organized chronologically, alphabetically. This way I can go back and, literally it's just a search. I type in the title and it comes up. It's just for me. I don't really care about anybody that goes on it. I don't ever promote shit. So I don't get it. But that's fine. Whatever they want to say. It's no big deal. But this also, there's a purpose to all this and why we're talking about all this chill narrative and what they're doing and how this is going to, how the battlefield really does look. Because the battlefield that you guys are seeing is up, down, left, right, forward, back, start, diagonal left, diagonal right, diagonal bottom, left, bottom, right. Look behind you. Don't look here. And
we consider this what, the 10th microcycle of this same sort of bullshit fucking attack.
Correct. Absolutely correct. It's a cycle. But this is your battleground, is the macro. And this is what is important to understand, because a lot of these things, and especially I did some digging, and I mean, I dug, and I got some really, really interesting shit to talk about tonight. And you're going to learn something, because it's not just one specific aspect of this that's going to make everything go poof. There's multitudes of things. So without further ado, we might as well just go right into it, because I want to. And pull up my little tool here so I can make it scroll at the same time. AMC, the American Dream, built on a tower of trillions and a smokescreen of lies. The United States, a country so obsessed with maintaining its global dominance, has become an epitome of financial manipulation, so much so that it's practically written into the Constitution at this point. From exploding national debt to militaristic interventions with places that no one asked for, the U.S. government has perfected the art of wielding financial muscle to achieve a geopolitical objective, leaving a trail of chaos and instability in its wake. But hey, no worries, right? The rich get richer, the political elite keep their pockets lined, and the average person can just watch their dreams of financial security slowly vanish like smoke. The reality is clear. This isn't just reckless behavior. It's a well-oiled criminal machine designed to benefit a select few while the rest of the world, and let's be honest, the American public, takes the hit. Now, let's break this down. You've probably heard about the $39 trillion in debt, but let's really take a moment to digest it. It's not a typo. The United States, the self-proclaimed beacon of democracy and free markets, is sitting on a debt pile so high it could reach the moon. And instead of facing the consequences, the U.S. has decided to play the system like a high-stakes poker game. Only they're the only ones holding the cards, and the rest of us, the world, is left to pick up the tab. So let's start with the U.S. national debt, which has become a masterclass in irresponsibility. As of 2026, the debt has climbed to an eye-watering $39.2 trillion, up from $35 trillion just last year. That's nearly $40 trillion, and guess what? There's no plan to pay it back. Instead, the U.S. has devised a cunning financial sleight of hand to shift this debt into digital currencies, more specifically into stable coins. You see, why not devalue the debt, create some shiny new crypto-based backed backed asset and pretend like it's all damage done to the economy never happened. It just never, poof. That's the beauty of it. No real accountability. Just magic. Hold on. Just magic money and a whole lot of smoke and mirrors. But this is no accident. This is the result of a systemic manipulation that has been engineered for decades. Anton Kabayakov, hopefully I pronounced that correctly, a senior advisor to the Russian president, Vladimir Putin, spilled the beans on this at the Eastern Economic Forum in September of 2025. In his remarks, Kabayakov stated that the U.S. is rewriting the rules of the global financial system using gold and cryptocurrencies as a tool to bail out the trillion-dollar hole. And how do they plan to get away with it? Simple, by pushing everyone into the crypto cloud, devaluing the $39 trillion in debt and starting from scratch. But let's not kid ourselves. The only people who will benefit are the ones already sitting pretty at the top. The U.S. gets to use war to accelerate the debt, reset, while the world grapples with the economic fallout. It gets worse, though. This isn't just about a huge chunk of debt. It's about the disruption of global financial stability. The U.S. isn't just wrecking its own economy. It's wreaking havoc on global markets. Take a wild guess how. By waging war, specifically the conflict with Iran, which has now conveniently become a catalyst for economic collapse. Don't worry, the U.S. is not interested in peaceful resolutions. They have other plans. The goal is to drive up oil prices and cause massive inflation, which will lead to a banking collapse that the U.S. can then ride out by devaluing its massive debt through inflation. But why stop there? The U.S. gets to use the war to accelerate the debt, reset, while the world grapples with the economic fallout. And let's not forget the American public. You might be thinking, what does this mean for me? Well, let's just say you're paying for it. While the government runs budget deficits, pumps billions into military conflicts, and sends your tax dollars to fund unnecessary interventions, you, the average American, are left to watch the price of gasoline skyrocket, housing prices go through the roof, and your wages barely keeping up with inflation. Meanwhile, the elites, those at the top of the financial pyramid, continue to profit from this global chaos, with more wealth being funneled into their pockets. For them, this is the ultimate game of financial survival. For everyone else, it's just another day of being stuck on the losing end of a rigged game. It's not just about the numbers either. The whole scenario is about economic warfare. And guess what? You're the collateral damage. The global financial system is now so deeply intertwined that when the U.S. sneezes, everyone else catches a cold. The U.S. has managed to entrench itself in global financial markets, and every time it pulls a stunt like this, the world economy quakes. Just take a look at the volatility in the stock market. Whenever the U.S. government makes a move on foreign policy, it's a constant, a never-ending game of economic chicken. So when the U.S. tries to reset its debt by manipulating global markets, the effects are felt far beyond the borders of America. The rest of the world, especially developing nations, suffer the consequences. Surveillance debt cries become inevitable. Inflation reaches unsustainable levels, and financial institutions crumble under the weight of their own unprecedented crash. At the end of the day, this is not just reckless behavior. It's a system of crime that's being perpetrated right in front of our eyes. The richest elites and the U.S. political establishments have engineered an economy designed to enrich themselves and screw over everyone else. While they get to get to reap their benefits of their manipulations, the rest of the world, especially developing nations, is left to clean up the mess. The debt will never be repaid. The financial system will never be fixed. And we're all left holding the bill. The question isn't whether the U.S. will cause the global economic collapse. It's when. It's a ticking time bomb. And every move the U.S. makes to solve its own financial problems only accelerates the inevitable crash. The world is on the brink of an economic apocalypse, and it's all being orchestrated by the very people who claim to have our best interests at heart. The only winners, those who already have the power to control the system and profit from its destruction. So buckle up, folks. This is a wild ride, and it's far from over. The economic time bomb is ticking. But wait, there's more. So after all that global chaos, financial trickery, and military maneuvers we just discussed, it's clear that the United States isn't just playing a dangerous game. It's sitting at the poker table with loaded dice. But don't think for a second that the financial collapse stops here. Oh no, it's going to get way better. We've already peeled back the layers of the 39 trillion US debt debacle, showing just how reckless and irresponsible the financial monster really is. But guess what? The US government isn't stopping at just maxing out the credit card. They've decided to take things up a notch and stir up the pot geopolitically. Enter the Iranian conflict, where the oil prices are being artificially inflated, causing global inflation to spiral out of control. It's a masterclass in chaos, and the U.S. is pulling the strings. But as we all know, when you're on the edge of financial destruction, it's not just about one explosive issue. It's about a bunch of bombs waiting to go off all at once. That's where private credit comes in. You see, while the world eyes are glued to the U.S. debt and oil markets, there's another financial time bomb quietly ticking away in the background. The private credit market. That $3 trillion monster, which operates outside of traditional banking systems and unregulated, is just waiting to implode. If you thought that the national debt or the global oil crisis were bad, brace yourself for this one. The private credit market has been growing at a terrifying pace in recent years, and it's about to blow up. We've seen bubbles burst before, but this is going to make 2008 crisis look like a mere hiccup. So let's take a deep dive into the private credit bomb, because trust me, you want to pay attention to this one. The world of shadow banking and risky debt is about to make a loud noise, and just when you thought the economic apocalypse couldn't get any worse, don't worry, it will. We got this $39 trillion urgent bill. Hey, future us will handle it. Don't worry about it. We're fine. We're financially responsible. The 39 trillion debt crisis. The U.S. master plan to screw over everyone and how they're getting away with it. Oh, what's that? 39.2 trillion, just a small number that sits comfortably in the U.S. national debt as of March of 2026. No big deal, right? No big deal. I mean, who needs fiscal responsibility when you can just pretend the debt doesn't exist and keeps printing more money? If you're anything like the U.S. government, the solution to fiscal disaster is simple. Just kick the can down the road and make sure other people pay for it. And the rest of the world, well, they're perfectly fine with footing the bill for America. Financial irresponsibility. At least that's the plan. Let's take a moment to really grasp the size of this problem. $39.2 trillion. Yes, you read that correctly. 39.2 trillion. This isn't just a number to throw around casually at a cocktail party. This is the debt that the United States has accumulated over decades of reckless spending. And let's not kid ourselves. The federal government has no real plan to fix this. In fact, they've mastered the art of kicking the can down the road while smiling at their shiny, debt-ridden future. What does the U.S. do when it realizes it's drowning in its unsustainable debt? It doesn't cut spending or reform tax policies or even deal with the massive budget deficits. No, instead, they decided to pull the ultimate magic trick and on the entire world. They're going to devalue the debt, and they're going to do it by using stablecoins. That's right. Instead of actually repaying what's owed, the U.S. is just going to make the debt disappear into the crypto cloud. And guess what? No one will even notice. Matt, Chaotic, I'm going to bring you guys in. So it was a couple of weeks ago, maybe about 2, where the SEC, they basically stopped all court cases against Ripple, XRP, all of those. And they classified them as different types of equities or commodities or as collateral.
Well, we have to go back to the history first. The history of the suit in itself was a fucking takeover. It was a hostile takeover of the white page of what Ripple was and what it represented. And it was basically in order to get government control of an engine to facilitate their crypto debt transfer ultimate goal.
Here's the problem, though. This is the one problem that I have with it particularly, is because you've been dealing with 4 years of court. And 4 years of court, 4 years of taxpayers that are paying for court and legal fees, all to get wiped out the minute that they classified these as assets. Literally gone.
Which they already knew was in the game plan to begin with.
Correct. But it's gone. Everything that you just said was wiped out the minute that they were classified as assets.
But the problem with Ripple is that people recognized it was growing too fast, and the lawsuit froze the price for them to keep it frozen in time until they were ready and in place to make that classification change and implement it.
Yeah, but everything that Gary Gensler said was bullshit.
No, absolutely.
Everything. Your tax dollars, everything that you guys had to pay in taxes that was going to those court cases, gone. Done. Don't worry about it. Bye-bye. Hold on. I ain't even got a voice for you.
Bye.
What was it? $2 trillion in fucking defense black budget for defense contractors, which basically equate stock market stimulation, right? That enriched investors that were privy to that spending, even though they can't officially account for any of it.
Correct.
And what did we get for it?
Nothing.
We got 3 fucking radar signal fucking machines that run our entire fucking intelligent rocket system that got blown up in 6 months, not even 6 weeks, and totally left our fucking missile system useless against what? Fucking cheap made drones and
Space Force
and cluster rockets that now defeat our defense system. Like
Space Force.
This is what that paid for.
That's why if anybody asked me in the past, what do you think about XRP? I told every single one of you, do not sell it. Whatever you do, I don't care if you hold on to it for while it's in court. Doesn't matter. Just hold on to it. Don't sell it. I promise you. Promise you. I hope you did.
But I know what it's for.
I know.
And once I realized what it was for, I took my shit and got out after it finally relisted. And
totally understand.
Never looked back. Now, would I say it would be a bad investment at the time for anybody that got in it? I mean, yeah, it's easy to say no in hindsight, but even at the time, what I tell you, I said, I get it. I understand it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not fucking gonna fucking dig on anybody for the medium purpose that its use is, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I personally am not going to support it for what it stands for.
Which I totally understand. Totally understand in every which way. I already knew, like I knew. That's why I told everybody, like, listen, don't sell that thing. Whatever you do, do not sell it. Because you will make a shit ton the minute that the value is actually realized. But I already knew.
So
it's the same game that they play.
In terms of the crypto transfer of the debt, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I use a parallel version of that, XRP is the hammer. That's the tool.
Yeah.
That's not the fucking construction guy building the house.
Not even close.
And he needs a hammer. XRP is that hammer.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not going to support them having the fucking hammer. That's just me. Because I know what these assholes are going to use that hammer for.
Yeah. No. And like I said, I totally understand where you're going with that. And that's fine. But it's still, I already knew.
For them to build what they're building, it's a one of a kind hammer that they have to have, and that's where its value is.
Absolutely, and that's the most. But that's the idea, and they make it abundantly simple. They're telling you the simplified version of it, and not giving you the back door. They're not letting you open back the curtain.
The fact that was the hammer they needed is exactly why the lawsuit happened. It was to freeze the hammer at its value till they were ready to build what they needed to build, and they couldn't have it fucking doing run-ups.
It's amazing what you find out.
Before they had their plan in implementation mode. So now once they were ready, they securitized all of this as classification through reclassification of the asset value, and then dropped all the suits because they're ready to implement the hammer.
Absolutely. Which brings us back into here. The idea is simple. The government will essentially create digital representation of its debt and let inflation and market dynamics slowly erase it. Brilliant, right? This is the equivalent of pretending you don't max out your credit card. So instead of paying off the debt, you simply shift it to a different account and hope no one notices. Problem solved. Except it's not solved. It's just pushed onto the world and every nation holding U.S. debt. And they will feel the consequences. This is where things get truly wild. In September of 25, Anton Kabayakov, a senior advisor to Putin, publicly exposed the sneaky little plan at the European Economic Forum. He said it loud and clear. The U.S. is rewriting the rules of gold and cryptocurrency markets to reset its massive debt. In other words, they plan to use the stable coins to transfer their debt into the digital realm. And by doing so, they will devalue it over time, erasing the large chunk of whatever they owe. And what's the catch? Simple. It won't just affect the U.S., it will send shockwaves through the entire global financial system. Chaotic. Me and you had a space on a Saturday talking about this exact same thing. And I said, here's Putin. Which button do I push that gives me a latte? I think it's the left one, but it's really the right one. But I think it's the left one. Where do those missiles go? Nah, no big deal. They're just hitting somewhere in the United States. No big deal. Nah, we're fine. I guarantee you that is the kicker that will go ahead and bring this whole thing into WW3 for sure.
I disagree in that
That's fine.
the nuclear threat is a FUD mechanism in order to manipulate action.
I mean, he said
I don't think anybody is actually willing to push that button, regardless of the situation.
You mean that, okay, so if the United States were to go ahead and just erase their debt by using a fraudulent way of clearing it through stable coins and putting the entire debt on the entire world, you won't be pissed if you were Putin?
No, I'm not saying he won't be pissed, but I'm just saying the nuclear threat is a FUD narrative to diminish the action.
Well, Putin said it on TV. That he would use deadly force against the United States if they tried.
Equal to forces used against him.
I'm
Nuclear is not equal to the debt.
No, I agree with that. That I do agree with. But when I hear the word deadly force, I automatically think of the missiles that are already pointed at us from Russia. Because they are. We both know
his
that.
nuclear button is the oil he has. It supplies the
world. A lot of the world.
If he wants 3/4 of the world to go against the U.S., all he has to do is push his oil button.
True. He can do that also. But as we've said, this will affect the global financial system. Imagine waking up one morning and the U.S. dollar starts to tank.
Hold on, back up 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
There is one country that is crazy enough to fucking send off nukes.
China?
Israel.
Yeah.
They're the ones that scare me more than anybody.
Yeah, I mean, they got dirt on us, so I think we do whatever they tell us. I mean, there's no way that some of the things
that's the only thing that's stopping Israel from being crazy is they don't, even though they have influence and control over us, they lose all that control once they push that button.
Oh, I agree.
And that's the only deterrence that's stopping them, because otherwise they're fucking crazy enough to do it.
No, I agree. I truly agree with that. I mean, but if anybody's noticed, and like, because I certainly do, like, none of anything that any politician has talked about has actually happened. Not one thing.
No, it's all FUD to manipulate behavior.
Yeah, but
international.
But on top of that, like, there's got to be something that they got on either Trump or somebody within his circle or something. Because
the global economy is the only thing they need.
Yeah, I mean, it's
that
wild.
Is the nuclear equivalent bomb globally.
Yeah, it's just
World War Digital 3.
Still wild to conceptually actually think about. I mean, that's the wild part of it. So imagine waking up one morning and the US dollar starts to tank. The stock market goes into free fall, and suddenly interest rates skyrocket because no one trusts US bonds anymore. That's the world we're facing. And it's not just hypothetical. It's actually happening. The global economy could be looking at massive disruptions at the U.S. It plays this debt game, and it's not just the U.S. Its economies that will bear the brunt of this scheme.
And there goes right into my point.
Mm-hmm.
The nuclear bomb that the U.S. has, without actually legitimate physical nuclear attacks, is every time the world goes against the U.S., we get closer and closer to setting off that financial nuclear weapon.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Which is as devastating, but not.
Oh, it's devastating.
In a physical nuclear way, right? But more people will die from a debt restructure, collapse, Bitcoin.
This is technically this is what a MOS actually is.
Financial repercussions of that, then probably even a physical nuclear war would. But
Matt, this is what a MOAS
economic
is.
warfare isn't looked at as a physical war, bodies blowing up sort of death toll. So it's the more socially correct nuclear bomb threat
Mm-hmm.
that they're using as a weapon to try to keep the world in line. But we're so far beyond help at this point that I don't know how the rest of the world can not at least try to defend themselves against the very threat that we are financially.
This is what a MOAS actually is. This is what a MOAS is, because it affects every single market. Hence, the entire global.
It's a complete unwinding of balance sheets, period. Whatever that balance is, if it's short negative, it needs to ride to zero. If it's positive, long, hypothecated debt, it's all hypothecated debt. So it doesn't matter. It's just the position unwind that has to unwind that debt back to zero through the transfer balance.
It's the entire global financial system that will take a hit because the world relies on U.S. debt to stabilize currencies, back investment portfolios, and fuel global trade. To make matters even more deliciously ironic, Kabayakov's comments about the U.S. shifting its debt into stablecoins were not met with an uproar from Western powers. No, instead, most people wrote it off as just another piece of Russian geopolitical messaging because, of course, the U.S. would never consciously attempt to manipulate the global economy for its benefit. That would be absurd. Or would it? Here's where it gets interesting. As of March of 2026, the U.S. Treasury Department continues to promote the idea of stablecoins as a solution to its debt. These digital currencies, which are already being used to back millions of dollars in transactions, could be the tool the U.S. uses to reset the economy at the expense of everyone else. It's like a game of financial musical chairs, but instead of the chairs, it's a trillions of dollars in global debt. And the music is about to stop. So let's break this down for the average person. What does this all mean? Essentially, the U.S. government is gaming the system. Instead of repaying the debt, they've run up debt that taxpayers will be on the hook for. They're just shifting the burden onto the rest of the world. Other countries that rely on U.S. bonds, foreign investments in treasuries, and dollars denominated assets will be left holding the bag. Meanwhile, the U.S. gets to continue its life of luxury, while everyone else watches their savings and investments lose value. And make no mistake, it's not just a matter of money. This is about the global power dynamics. The U.S. has used its financial dominance to control the global economy for decades, but this plan to manipulate the debt could change everything. This isn't just economic mismanagement. This is weaponized finance, where the U.S. uses its financial system as a blunt instrument to maintain control, inflate the debt away, and screw over the rest of the world while claiming it's just another day in the life of global economics. So when you hear the U.S. government talk about the global debt reset or stablecoins as the savior of the American economy, just remember one thing. It's not about saving the economy. It's about saving their own skin at everyone else's expense. And if you're one of the many countries that are tied to the U.S. dollar or hold U.S. debt, well, congratulations. You've just been invited to the ultimate financial heist, and you probably won't even realize it until the damage has already been done. The clock's ticking on their master plan. Let's see what's next. Well, after everything we've just broken down, the debt manipulation, the stablecoin trickery, the global economic chaos, You might be sitting here thinking, okay, so it's all about debt, right? That's the big issue here, obviously. You'd be right to think that the U.S. national debt and the master plan to erase it is definitely the first stage of the global economic heist. But here's the kicker. While everyone's watching the debt bubble inflate to ridiculous heights, there's another ticking time bomb lurking in the shadows. The private credit market. So when you thought things couldn't possibly get any worse, it's time to turn your attention to the shadows and the shadow banking, the $3 trillion private credit market that's about to explode. Hold tight, because you haven't seen anything yet. This market is bigger and riskier than anything you've heard about so far. The private credit sector is a powder keg of bad loans, high risk, zero regulation. And guess what? When it goes off, it's going to make the 2008 crisis look like a walk in the park. War.
Can I jump in quick?
Go ahead. Don't explain about private credit yet.
Nope. I'm going to liken the current financial nuclear bomb is a different, and this just came to my mind. So, in theory, when you talk about time travel paradigms, right now, think of that in our financial situation now, where future buy now, pay later debt thresholds, right? Future meets past in this continuum moment where you have a continuum paradigm within the financial sector that creates.
Are we talking like the Justice League?
It self implodes on itself.
Are we talking about like the Justice League where like the Flash comes from the future? You were right about him.
No, I'm talking about where you yourself from the future, meet yourself in the past. It creates a continuum paradigm that self implodes and freezes time in that moment into a theoretical time collapse.
All I'm thinking about is like Back to the Future right now. I want to go back in time. Yeah, that's all.
Yeah, that's the sci-fi version.
Yeah, I know. I'm fucking around, but
as a parallel version to the financial crisis that we're in, it's the future inability to pay on the current debt as it balloons out of control, where the future is catching up to the current, where it's meeting itself, looking itself in the eye, and creating a continuum paradigm where the financial system can't continue on the path that it's been.
The craziest part about all this is that anybody that's pretty much 5 years from now, the minute that they turn 18 years old, they graduate from high school. Well, this was last year, but each kid basically had $88,000 worth of debt stapled onto their forehead because of this. It's got to be more now, and it keeps on growing.
No, I think it right now it's over 1 million, ain't it?
No, I'm talking about like per kid that's 18 years of age. They graduate.
But
it's
the lack of birth rate has ballooned.
Like I said, I was using last year's numbers. It was 88,000 per kid.
Yeah, that's a lie.
Yeah, I know. Like I said, that's what I knew last year. It's probably 5x, 10x. When you think about it, it's got to be huge. Because who knows? This kids are not coming anymore. No one's having them because no one can afford them. No one can afford to actually rent a place or live.
They turned half the generation gay.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's crazy.
I'm gonna get hated for saying that, but there's a lot of fucking truth behind it. So
I don't care.
There's instances where maybe that's not, but the whole froggy thing, like, yeah, No, I don't want to get into that.
We're not going to get into that anyway, so that's okay. War, oil, and chaos. The U.S. financial dream come true at everyone else's expense. If you thought the U.S. was just casually stumbling into the ongoing Iranian conflict, think again. This is no geopolitical accident. Oh no. This war, this beautifully orchestrated disaster is exactly what the U.S. needs to push the world into economic oblivion. We're talking about the financial equivalent of a wrecking ball with oil and global markets in the crossfires. This isn't a random act of military aggression. This is a calculated move, meticulously crafted to trigger a global economic collapse. While most people are out there thinking the war in the Middle East is just about territorial power and international politics, the real game is being played is much bigger and far more sinister. Welcome to the beautifully tragic world of financial manipulation through war, where the U.S. government weaponizes conflict to secure its own economic reset at the expense of everyone else. Here's the catch. Oil is the key to this entire plan, and the U.S. is using its involvement in the Iranian conflict as a perfect excuse to drive up oil prices. Why? Simple. Because when oil prices skyrocket, it's not just about the cost of fuel that gets hit, it's everything. Inflation soars, supply chains grind to a halt, and all of those little everyday costs you barely think about suddenly become unaffordable. You're already feeling the pinch at the pump. But
it's retail value extraction in order to fund the...
It's an upward funnel.
Yes.
But that's just the beginning. The U.S. is internationally engineered in this war to inflate oil prices to unsustainable levels, causing an inflationary spiral across the globe. But here's the thing most people aren't getting. This isn't just some random oil price hike caused by market forces. No, this is about control. The U.S. is manipulating the situation, intentionally disrupting oil exports through military tension and using it as a perfect financial tool to push global markets into chaos.
What it does is it extracts retail dollars into the cost associated with inflated oil values across the entire economy, funneling that money upward into a system that gives that re-injects that money back into the banking system for their use. So it takes your financial control of your dollars, transfers that dollars upward into a system for their own control, for their own liquidity, and for their own use to continue to create the grander gap between power and control dynamics of an eliminated middle class economy.
And while you're out there here complaining about higher costs of gas, the U.S. is grinning ear to ear, knowing that it's setting up for a perfect storm of inflationary pressures. Here's the real kicker. All of this chaos isn't a mistake, it's by design. The U.S. has been quietly manipulating the oil markets and the global economy for years. But in 2026, things took a massive turn. Over 23% of the global oil production has been disrupted. This isn't just a blip. It's a crisis, and one that's intentionally exacerbated. And it's not just oil prices. Fertilizer shortages are now driving up the cost of food, adding even more pressure to an already fragile economy.
We're going to relive 2022 again. Mark my words.
Oh, yeah, for sure. We're going to see something we have never seen. In case you were wondering, the inflation you're experiencing, that's just market volatility. That's the U.S. doing its thing, engineering the chaos to secure its financial future. Now, I'm going to break this down for the average person. You're paying more for gas, more for food, and more for everything else. But here's the thing. This isn't just the result of a bad market. This is the U.S. leveraging war as a tool of financial warfare. The more oil tankers are attacked, the more oil supplies are disrupted, the more costs rise. The price of oil becomes the perfect catalyst for inflation. And while the average person feels the pain, the U.S. is positioning itself to profit, and not just in the short term. This whole mess is designed to be a slow burning fuse to a much bigger economic reset. So what's the end game? Here's where it gets juicy. The U.S. government isn't just sitting idly by while the world spirals into chaos. No, they've got a bigger financial reset in mind. With inflation rising, global supply chains collapsing, and the global economy crumbling, the U.S. gets to pull off the ultimate heist, a debt reset. By causing massive inflation through the oil price surge, they will devalue their $39 trillion in debt, and it won't just disappear. It will be shifted into the digital currency, namely stablecoins. The U.S. government will continue its financial sleight of hand, making it look like they've magically solved their debt problem, all while sitting back and watching the rest of the world bear the brunt end of the fallout. This isn't just bad economic policy, it's strategy. The U.S. is leveraging war to crash the global economy on purpose. They're creating the perfect condition for the debt reset by pushing inflation so high that their own debt becomes manageable at the cost of everyone else's savings, wages, and financial security. Meanwhile, the global banking system teeters on the brink of collapse, and it's not just the U.S. debt that's being wiped clean. It's the entire financial system being restructured in a way that favors the U.S. elite. Let's not sugarcoat it. War isn't just about power or control in the Middle East. It's about pushing the global economy to the edge and making sure that when the world falls apart, the U.S. is the one that walks away with a clean slate. You think the price of oil is high now? Just you wait. This isn't just about fueling cars. It's about fueling the U.S. plans to reset its economy at the world's expense. The question isn't no longer whether the U.S. will continue to manipulate oil prices and prolong the Iranian conflict. The real question is how much longer will the rest of the world keep letting it happen before the whole financial system breaks down? And we're left up picking the pieces of the world that's been deliberately thrown into chaos. And now the real show begins. Welcome to the private credit bomb. So we've established that the U.S. government is playing a high-stakes game of financial manipulation using war to send global oil prices through the roof, driving up inflation and kicking off the global economic chaos. But guess what? The U.S. isn't done yet. As if the oil crisis wasn't enough, there's another little time bomb sitting quietly in the shadows, waiting for the perfect moment to detonate. Private credit. Here's the twist. While the world is busy watching the U.S. military maneuver, the real financial destruction is happening in the private credit market. And no, this is not some obscure corner of the economy. This is a $3 trillion market, and it's growing faster than a wildfire. But it's not growing in a good way. No. This market is stacked high with bad loans, over-leveraged assets, and untold risk, all just waiting to collapse and pull the entire financial system down with it. What's worse, the same economic elites that have manipulated the oil markets and geopolitical tensions are knee-deep in the shadows of this market. And it's only a matter of time before their private credit bubble bursts. So while the U.S. government uses war to inflate the debt, the private credit market is setting up for a full-scale implosion. And guess what? You're paying for it too, whether you know it or not. Buckle up. because this private credit time bomb is the next big piece of the financial apocalypse. And when it blows, it's going to make 2008's crash look like a small little pothole in the road. 3 trillion. 3. The private credit bomb. The 3 trillion ticking time bomb that will destroy it all. You didn't see this coming. So you thought the U.S. national debt was the only financial disaster waiting to unfold. Oh, sweet summer child. The real doomsday device isn't some far-off government policy. It's right here, ticking away under the surface like an unseen bomb. Private credit, the massive, unregulated beast that has ballooned to an eye-watering $3 trillion, is about to implode. And when it does, it will drag the entire global economy down with it. You thought that subprime mortgage crisis of 2008 was bad? Well, I was there. I can tell you, that was awful. This is worse. So strap in, because the private credit markets make subprime look like a child's game. We're going to set the scene for you. The private credit market has grown faster than a wildfire in recent years. But instead of the burning through the bushes and trees, it's been setting fire to the very foundations of the financial system. $3 trillion, that's the size of the unregulated, loosely monitored, no limits private credit sector that has been quietly growing at an alarming pace. And while most people are too busy watching the stock market volatility or the global oil prices, the real catastrophe is happening in the shadows in the form of private credit loans that are so risky, even the most seasoned investors are starting to break a sweat. The market is fueled by excessive leverage, which, let's be real, is the perfect recipe for disaster. Think of it like 2008 subprime mortgage market, except this time it's bigger, badder, and much harder to track. As interest rates climb, the pressure on private credit ramps up, and the inevitable defaults will begin to pile up like a snowball rolling downhill. And let's be clear, this is no small mishap. Oh no. We're talking about a major market meltdown that will make 2008's financial crisis, it's going to be a blip. Boop, 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 boop. And when this bomb goes off, it won't just take out the private credit sector. It'll send shockwaves through every corner of the global financial system. Private credit is huge, as in $3 trillion big, and it's grown faster than traditional bank lending. I'm going to stop right there for 2 seconds because I'm going to explain something else, because we've talked about private credit before. And the problem with private credit is that here is your private credit black hole. And that black hole has multipliers in it. Those multipliers can be 5x, they can be 10x, they can be upwards to 20x in that black hole. So what they're telling you when I say 3 trillion, that's what the reported number is. That's not the multiplier that you're actually getting. So this is a bigger problem than you may think. This is a market that has taken a baton from traditional loans and run full speed into reckless territory. If you thought that subprime mortgages were just a thing of that broke the economy in 2008, so just you wait until you get a load of this private credit. Private credit has exploded in size. The issue is that this market is unregulated, meaning that there's no one to stop the madness. Unlike traditional loans, private credit operates outside of traditional banking systems, which means that there's no safety net in place. There's no regulations to ensure that the system or that these loans are being made to viable borrowers. And there's certainly no one telling the lenders to slow down, just like in subprime mortgages. These loans are often given to high-risk borrowers, but without the safety mechanisms that came with more traditional loans. It's like playing Russian roulette with the global economy, and the spoiler alert, the gun is loaded. Here's a perfect example. And yeah, Matt, I totally agree with you. When we were talking about this the other day, and then all of a sudden, here comes a post, and it's the exact same picture we were talking about. What the fuck was that? It's Michael, or not Michael Burry. It is Steve Carell and the manager of the CDO fund, where he starts talking about CDO squared. That is exactly this. That is the ticking time bomb. That is the problem here. But this is going to affect everything, because these bad loans were written on everything. Now, with central banks raising interest rates and inflation creeping higher, the risk of the default becomes a very real threat. And when these loans start to fail, there's no way out. You think the housing crash was bad? Imagine $3 trillion worth of bad loans cascading through the global financial system with no secondary market for investors to sell their risky assets. The liquidity that's kept in the system from imploding in 2008 will be nowhere to be found, leaving investors scrambling to dump toxic debt at any cost. Here's where it gets really ugly. Private credit operates outside of the traditional markets, meaning that there's no liquidity secondary market to help absorb the blow. Once defaults start hitting, the clock will start ticking, and there's no getting out. The lack of a secondary market means that when these loans fail, there's no way for investors to sell off their bad assets quickly. And because there's no loans, and there's no loans out there standardized like government bonds or corporate bonds, they're impossible to value. So investors are left with a huge pile of crap they can't unload. So you know what happens next? The liquidity crunch hits, and the entire financial system starts to freeze up. The global banking sector will feel the immediate squeeze as banks that hold large positions in private credit are forced to sell off their assets, stocks, bonds, real estate, all at fire sale prices, just to stay afloat. And when these fire sale prices trigger massive asset devaluations, the panic will spread like wildfire. You thought stock market volatility was bad? Wait until you see the carnage when private credit begins to implode. Let's not sugarcoat this. When the private credit market goes down, it's going to trigger that waterfall, that domino effect across the entire global economy. The defaults will set off a chain reaction that forces institutions to liquidate other assets just to cover their losses. Financial institutions, pension funds, and even sovereign wealth funds that have been exposed to private credit will find themselves scrambling for cash, leading them to sell whatever assets they have at whatever price they can get. This will tank global markets, starting with stocks, then spiraling into real estate, corporate bonds, and every other asset that has been propped up by cheap credit. Here's the real kicker, is the lack of transparency in private credit. Investors and regulators won't even realize the scale of the collapse until it's too late. By the time they figure out just how deep the rabbit hole goes, it's a full-blown panic sell-off, and guess who's left holding the bag? The average investor, the pensioner, the everyday person who is just trying to save for retirement. Meanwhile, the elite financial institutions that caused this mess will find a way to scoop up the assets at discount prices, making billions while the rest of us are left to pick up the pieces. Here's the kicker. This is going to happen. The private credit market has grown to such an unsustainable level that it's not a question of if it will collapse, but when. Interest rates are climbing. Inflation is spiraling. Private credit market is already starting to unravel, and it won't be long before the entire financial system is dragged out with it. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride, because the next global economic meltdown will be brought to you by private credit. And trust me, it's going to be a bumpy one. So let's we're going to take a step back for a second and look at the real villains in all of this. The U.S. government. But don't worry. They'll try to make you think they're doing the best to help the people. But the truth is much more nefarious. The U.S. government isn't just sitting idly by while the global economy teeters on the brink. They're actively stoking the flames of disaster to line their pockets and ensure that the elite class corporate interests, politicians, and military industrial complex bigwigs are the only ones that get out unscathed. Meanwhile, the average American is left to fend for themselves, stuck with rising inflation, wages stagnating, and the financial system that was rigged against us. We're already seeing how the U.S. is manipulating the debt. So how is it used? How it's used in the Iranian conflict to push the oil prices higher, and how private credit is a ticking time bomb that's ready to implode the global system. But here's the kicker. Every single part of this catastrophe is by design. The U.S. is playing a game of financial chess while the stakes are more important, or the stakes are global, where the stakes are global collapse. And guess who's left holding the bag? That's right, the rest of the world. And more importantly, the American people who thought their government had their backs. The Iranian conflict is a perfect example. While Washington claims to be acting in the best interest of national security, the truth is far uglier. It's about using the global instability to create the perfect environment for financial resets, all to benefit the financial elite. So while the military-industrial complex lines its pockets and the corporations sit up at the top of the food chain, the citizens are left to pick up the pieces of the whole world-altering disaster. Talk about betrayal. While the government claims to be protecting its people, it's really just creating chaos for personal financial gain. And the average American is left in the wreckage. The U.S. government's involvement. Masters of disaster. How the elites turn a crisis into profit and leave you to clean up the mess. The U.S. government always claiming to be the champion of the people, the protector of democracy, and the savior of the average American. But before you start clapping, let's take a moment to pull back the curtain and expose the ugly truth behind the supposed heroes of the story. Spoiler alert, they're not saving anyone. They're playing a game of financial chess with the world's economy, and guess who's on the losing end of that strategy? Well, it's you, the average citizen, the one left holding the bag when the whole thing collapses. Let's talk about the elite class that's really pulling the strings behind the scenes. Corporate interests, politicians, military-industrial complex giants, people who are actively exploiting this crisis for their own financial gain, while you're out here trying to figure out how to afford a gallon of gas. The inflation, the economic stagnation, and the rising cost of living. Meanwhile, you are the one who gets to pick up the pieces after they've crashed the global economy. Take the Iranian conflict, for example. The U.S. government would love for you to believe it's about freedom, democracy, and national security, but in reality, it's about manipulating global markets to serve the interest of the financial elite. War is a profitable business. War is its own economy, people. 100% true and fact. And the people making money off of it don't care that it's sending the world towards economic collapse. As oil prices skyrocket and global instability rises, the elites are walking away with financial windfalls. Meanwhile, you're stuck paying high prices for everything from gas to groceries to housing. The U.S. government isn't just sitting on the sidelines while the global crises unfold. They're actively creating these crises, whether it's through deliberate military action, trade wars, or financial manipulation. And why? Because it's profitable. The military-industrial complex is making billions off of destabilization. And politicians are lining their pockets while their wealthy donors laugh all the way to the bank. But guess who isn't laughing? The average American, who's stuck dealing with the aftermath after these carefully crafted disasters. And let's not forget how the financial elite benefit from these crises. The U.S. government financial policies and wars are designed to inflate debt, push asset prices to unsustainable levels, and reset the system, all while protecting the wealthy and ensuring that the average person gets to pick up the tab. When the stock market crashes, corporations buy up cheap assets. When oil prices spike, the big oil companies rake in the profits. When the housing market tanks, the wealthy elites swoop in and buy up everything at a discounted price. While the average citizen struggles to make ends meet, it's the system that works perfectly for the few and terribly for the many. So how does this play out for the average American? Let's break it down. As war rages, prices climb. The global instability grows. The U.S. government continues to manipulate global markets while pretending to be the champion of peace. The crisis gets worse, and the rich get richer. The financial elites continue the game of global chess, using the rest of the world and, most importantly, the American people as pawns. Meanwhile, the public is left watching as the elites continue to consolidate wealth off the chaos they've engineered, while the average person faces inflation, wage stagnation, and economic uncertainty. Let's not sugarcoat it. The U.S. government isn't just failing to act in the best interest of the citizens. They are actively betraying the public's trust, all while enriching the corporate elite and military-industrial complex at the expense of everyone else. The Iranian conflict isn't just an example of how the U.S. has chosen to play with fire, destabilizing global economies, manipulating oil prices, and fostering chaos. Is not by accident. It's a deliberate strategy. A strategy that leaves the average American to clean up the mess and leaves the financial elite counting the money. And don't get it twisted. This is only the beginning. And as long as the U.S. continues to its manipulation of global events, the real victims will always be the ordinary citizen, who are left with the consequences of the elite's financial games. The financial system. Powder keg ready to explode. As if things weren't already bad enough, here comes the next big disaster. The U.S. government isn't just manipulating debt, it's creating war crisis. They're also sitting on top of a powder keg that's about to explode. The global financial system, the very thing they've promised to protect, is a disaster waiting to happen. Gold prices are spiking. The bond markets are in turmoil. The private credit is unraveling by the day. This isn't just another market crash waiting to happen. It's the global catastrophe in the making. And while the elites are preparing for the fallout, the rest of the world will be left to deal with the ruins of a financial system that has been rigged in the favor of the rich. The domino effect is already in motion, and once it hits, no one will be able to stop the cascading collapse. Here's another powder keg. Ready to explode. Hold on. It's about to get really, really fucking ugly. So you know that feeling when you're just one match away from an explosion? Well, the global financial system is currently sitting on top of a powder keg that's been carefully stacked by years of reckless lending, unsustainable debt, and elite financial maneuvering. It's all about fun and games until everything goes up in smoke. And guess what? That moment is now. The warning signs are already flashing in neon lights across every financial market, and you're probably already feeling the heat. But hey, don't worry, everything's totally fine, right? Spoiler alert, it's not. Let's start with the obvious, which are gold prices. You probably noticed the price of gold climbing at a pace that even Goldilocks would call excessive, right? Well, March 2026, gold prices surged by a record of $2.12 trillion in just 48 hours. I thought I said 42 for a second. I'm like, wow, that was fast. I know, sounds like the kind of panic you would expect before a nuclear apocalypse. But let's be real. This isn't just about fear. It's worse than that. Gold doesn't just jump this dramatically because people are scared of a recession or a market dip. No. The sharp spike is actually signaling a systemic reset, a giant warning siren telling us that the entire financial system is buckling under the pressure. Gold is the ultimate safe haven asset. And when it goes up like that, it's not because people are just worried about their 401k. It's because the global financial infrastructure is about to implode. Now, let's move on to the bond market, which, if you've been paying attention, I hope you have, are having a nervous breakdown right in front of our eyes. The Japanese bond market, yes. Japan. Which has spent decades with zero interest rates, has finally seen its yields surge to levels not seen in decades. This is a huge red flag for the entire world. Why? Because Japanese bonds are not just some small niche market. Japan is one of the largest holders of U.S. treasuries. And when Japan bond yields rise, it's like shaking a snow globe. The effects ripple out in every direction. As yields rise in Japan, capital begins to flow away from U.S. assets. And when Japan's bonds pushing up U.S. borrowing costs and tightening global liquidity, we're no longer talking about the U.S. only problem. This is the global issue. When borrowing cost rises, every country feels it. From Germany to Brazil, and it makes funding costs skyrocket for businesses and governments alike. The global credit market is tightening, and you better believe that every sector of the economy will soon feel the heat. But wait, there's more. You didn't think we were done, did you? No, because lurking in the shadows is that $3 trillion time bomb known as the private credit but unregulated shadow banking system that grows so large it's practically a financial monster. Hey, I actually have a voice of a financial monster. That's a robot.
Because lurking in the shadows.
I love that thing. That thing is so cool. You see, while everyone's been distracted by the oil wars, government debt, the market crashes, private credit has quietly swelled to a size that's larger than the 2008 subprime mortgage market. And if you think subprime mortgages were bad, you're going to love this. This is the kind of financial nightmare that keeps people like Warren Buffett up at night. Because when it blows, it's not just going to ruin a few banks, it's going to bring the whole system down. The private credit market is already facing the inevitable collapse as defaults surge and the risk hidden in the financial time bomb there are too big to ignore. But here's a kicker. No one knows just how bad it's going to get. There's no transparency in the private credit world. No one knows the true scale of the damage. And once it detonates, it will send shockwaves through every single market, from stocks to real estate to bonds, dragging everything down with it. Now, before you think, well, that sounds bad, but it's probably just another market blip, let me remind you that the financial system is already on the edge. You got gold prices rocketing up, bonds teetering on the brink, and private credit about to collapse. These aren't isolated events. They're system of a larger and far more dangerous issue. And that's the global financial system is fundamentally broken, and it's only a matter of time before the whole thing comes crashing down like a house of cards. You think this is just coincidence? Think again. These aren't just random shifts. They're the warning signs of a next big financial disaster, and when it hits, trust me, everybody will feel it. But don't worry, the elites will be just fine. They'll be on their private islands, counting their gold reserves while the rest of the world fights over scraps. Meanwhile, the average American who's already dealing with the fallout from inflation, wage stagnation, and global instability will be left trying to figure out how to survive the coming storm. The financial system isn't just on the brink, it's ready to implode, and the only question is who's going to bail the rest of us when the music stops. And guess what? The real fun is just getting started. It's that private credit bomb and global market instability continues to rattle the system. There's one more piece of the puzzle that's about to create the ultimate economic meltdown. You think rising gold prices and Japanese bond chaoses are bad? Well, wait until wait until the real contagion hits. And we see how the global recession triggers the next phase of the financial apocalypse. But hold tight, because if you thought we were done, well, let's just say the worst is still to come. The domino effect. Dun, 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 dun. When Japan's interest rate hikes sends the whole financial world tumbling down. The domino effect. When Japanese interest rates hike sends the whole financial world tumbling down. Hold on tight. All right, buckle up. Because here's where the global financial collapse takes a sharp turn into new territory. You've seen the signs of rising gold prices, crumbling bond markets, and the private credit time bomb waiting to detonate. But just when you thought you had a handle on the madness, here comes the Bank of Japan to kick over the first domino. And guess what? It's not just a small shift. It's about to trigger a chain reaction that could send the entire financial system into free fall. So what's the deal with the interest rate hikes in Japan is planning for April of 26? Oh, just this little thing that will completely change the financial landscape. Japan holds one of the largest portfolios of U.S. treasuries. We're talking about trillions of dollars here. You might want to grab a seat. Because when the Bank of Japan starts hiking interest rates, it's going to send capital flooding out of U.S. assets and into Japanese bonds. Why does that matter? Well, when Japan bonds start paying more, investors are going to divert their money from U.S. Treasury markets, pushing U.S. borrowing costs higher. This is the first domino that will send shockwaves through every major market. Now, the U.S. government has already had its hands full with its $39 trillion debt problem. And guess what? The little shift in the bond market is about to make it even worse, As more capital flows out of U.S. assets, the cost of borrowing will shoot up. And here's the kicker. Global borrowing cost will rise in sync. You think this is bad now? Just you wait. Companies and consumers alike will feel the pain as the cost of credit climbs through the roof. With borrowing more expensive, companies will have to slash investments, businesses will cut jobs, and the average person will be stuck with even higher credit card rates and home loan rates. This is where things get really juicy because remember, the private credit market, that $3 trillion shadow banking beast we've been talking about, is already sitting on a mountain of debt. It's highly leveraged, and it's about to collapse under the weight of rising interest rates. Oh, don't forget about the banks that are exposed to these private credit funds. As default surges, the banks are going to struggle to raise funds, and their balance sheets are going to crumble faster than a house of cards on a hurricane. But wait, it gets better. The Bank of Japan's policy shift, when combined with the Federal Reserve rate hikes, will spark a global liquidity crisis. The bond markets will be in free fall. Real estate prices will plummet, and the stock market will take a nosedive into the abyss. We're talking about a global contagion that will spread like wildfire across every asset class, creating the perfect storm for a global recession. Who's going to survive this? The rich? Sure, why not? Of course they will. They're buying up assets at fire sale prices, while the rest of us are left trying to scrape together the last of our savings. But don't worry, the elites have already hedged their bets. You guys with the meme stock have done that too. Don't worry, I'll explain. And are sitting pretty while everyone else fights for survival. So you see, the Bank of Japan's interest rate hike isn't just another central bank policy change. It's the beginning of an end for the financial system that's already on the brink. The first domino is about to fall, and when it does, the entire global economy will be pulled into a tailspin. As capital shifts, borrowing costs rises, defaults surge, and the global economy tightens. You want to make sure you've got a lifeboat ready because the domino effect, it's going to take down everything in its path. Welcome to the next stage of global financial apocalypse. And guess what? The fun is just getting started. With the Bank of Japan's interest rate hike triggering the first domino, you can already feel the global financial system creaking and groaning under the pressure. But hey, why stop here? We've got a global debt crisis, banking collapses, and a hyperinflation wave coming at us faster than a speeding freight train. And just when you think things can't get any worse, guess what? They will. The global impact, a financial tsunami. Brace yourself, coming for everyone. Crypto, stock markets, housing bubble, commodities, retirement accounts, Bitcoin, you name it, it's going to nail it. And this is where the fun begins. The global impact, a financial tsunami. Brace yourself, it's coming for everyone. Hold on tight, because we're about to witness the economic equivalent of a tsunami. And it's not just going to wipe out a few beach houses, it's going to decimate the entire coastline. What started as a few dominoes falling, the $39 trillion U.S. debt, the private credit time bomb, the Bank of Japan's interest rate hike is now about to explode into a full-blown financial apocalypse. And guess what? You're going to get wet, and it won't be pretty. Let's break it down step by step so you can really see the disaster coming for us all. First, we have to acknowledge that the global debt crisis that is about to ravage the world's emerging markets, countries like Brazil, Turkey, Argentina, that rely on US dollar denominated debts, are about to be crushed under the weight of rising interest rates. Why? Because the US Federal Reserve, along with the Bank of Japan's move, is tightening global credit. The cost of borrowing money in dollars are soaring. And spoiler alert, these countries don't just owe money, they owe it in dollars, which is now getting more and more expensive to repay. Here's what happens next. These countries already struggling with the economic instability won't be able to service their debt anymore. Surveillant defaults, oh, it's a matter of if, it's when. And when that happens, guess what? The entire world economy feels it. We're talking about a cascade of defaults on a massive scale that will send shockwaves through the global markets. For anyone holding emerging market debt, the losses will be staggering. The US dollar will be worth even more, but for the rest of the world, this will be the financial nightmare that takes years to dig out of. Now let's turn our attention to the banking crisis. You thought 2008's financial collapse was bad? Well, hold on to your hats, because this is going to make it look like a bad day at the stock market. When the private credit market collapses and those $3 trillion in unregulated loans explode in the faces of investors and banks, you will see the entire banking system buckle under the pressure. Remember, these loans were backed by shadowy assets. Remember, NVIDIA, that's a shadowy asset. Or Enron 2.0. That's, no one really understood. And guess what? The banks that thought they were sitting pretty with their investments in these funds are now looking at massive losses. And what happens when banks start losing billions? Well, bank runs, baby. Bank runs, baby. Yeah. People will start demanding their cash, and the banks won't have it. We're talking about a widespread liquidity crisis where the flows of money come to a screeching halt. The credit market freezes up. Companies can't get financing. Individuals can't get mortgages, and the economy simply grinds to a halt. The economic machine will be stuck. No fuel, no movement. And when the banks can't get money from each other, they sure as hell won't be handing it out to you. But don't think this stops here. Oh no. This is where it gets really fun. Inflation is about to go off the charts. As governments scramble to bail out failing institutions, the money printer will start going brrr and working overtime. They'll start printing cash like it's going out of style, and guess who gets stuck with the bill? That's right, you. As governments try to rescue banks, they'll flood the economy with so much new money that the value of your dollar will plunge. Hyperinflation will set in, and you won't even be able to afford a loaf of bread without taking out a loan. We've seen this movie before. Venezuela, anyone? And let's be real. This isn't just some third world problem anymore. When the U.S. government prints money to save its elite institutions, guess who gets the short end of the stick? The average citizen. Here's the kicker. By the time the inflationary collapse is in full swing, global currencies will be devalued and people's savings will evaporate into thin air. Want to know the true cost of financial tsunami we're facing? It's not just in dollars. It's in the entire financial infrastructure of the global system. And when that collapses, we'll all be left standing in the wreckage. While the wealthy elites are hoarding their gold reserves, you're going to be out there scraping by as your currency crumbles. The rich get richer, and the rest of us get left to clean up the mess. Isn't that just so beautiful? But wait, I'm not done. It gets worse. The global financial system is heading straight into uncharted waters, and there's no lifeboat in sight. But if you think we've hit rock bottom, just wait for the final act. The contagion is already spreading, and once the dominoes start to fall, the global recession will turn into a complete economic meltdown. And while the elites are sit comfortably in their private yachts, you'll be left trying to figure out how to survive the disaster. It's a classic case of who benefits, who suffers. And guess what? The wealthy elites aren't worried one bit because they've already made sure they have protection from the chaos they've created. So while they cash in on the collapse of the global economy, the average person gets the short end of the stick, left wondering how the hell they were caught in the crossfires of the global financial tsunami. Buckle up, because we're in for one hell of a ride. Which leads me to...
No idea.
Huh?
You have no idea.
Who? Me?
I just did a little bit of little feed into my quantum time financial paradox, and it totally, we're fucked.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I know. Why do you think I came out with this? Because it's time.
We could do a space on what I just sent you.
No, that's fine. I'll do the research and do the work. I don't mind. Because it needs to be said. This is how you need to plan. This is why people come out with this shit. So this way they can help. The real ones try to help, not try to confuse. My final word is a kind of a mixture of my final word and Dum Dum of the Week. I'll explain. Toilet tank. My final word. Time for the retail trader to wake up. The financial system is out to destroy you. When is enough enough? How long will we continue to let the system run rampant, manipulating everything in its path for the sake of profits? How long will we sit by watching the elites and corporate overlords manipulate the markets, throw the little guy under the bus, and then just sit back and watch as we tear each other apart? It's time to ask yourself, when will we stop being pawns in their game? As we've delved into the 39 trillion in US debt, the manipulated war, the private credit time bomb, the systemic collapse that's about to hit us like a freight train, there's one thing that becomes crystal clear. The financial system is rigged. The elites have made it clear. You don't mean shit. And neither do I. This is all a game to them. A game where hedge funds, corporations, politicians manipulate the rules to maximize profits while we're left to pick up the pieces. The financial crisis that's looming is on the horizon. It isn't by accident. It's engineered. The question now is, when is enough enough? When will we finally take control and stop letting corporate monsters decide our fate? Let's talk about AMC and GME. Two stocks that have become symbols of the retail investors' fight against the system, right? These weren't just about making money. They became about community. We, the retail investor, came together to take on hedge funds, to challenge the financial establishment. And for a moment, it seemed like we had a shot at rewriting the rules. But let's be honest, somewhere along the line, we were hijacked. Look at AMC. According to analysis from Nachi and others, we see Adam Aron seemingly following a classic corporate playbook, and it's a familiar one. The Starwood Marriott merger strategy of his. It's not exactly a coincidence debt cleanup, strategic signaling through the word consummated, releasing financial data to prep the stage for an acquisition, and suddenly, boom, AMC is practically giving away its future. Why is AMC rolling out, new screens, better amenities, and upgrading the theaters for an acquiring company to profit off of it? Doesn't that seem just a little too convenient to anybody? Honestly, instead of empowering the community, AMC is setting the stage for another corporate acquisition that leaves retail traders in the dust. But don't worry. No, just don't worry about it. The heroes behind these moves will still get to keep the profits, while the retail investors get left holding the bag. Then we have GME. Everyone loves to talk about the GME AMC merger rumors, right? But let's look at facts, ladies and gentlemen. GameStop recently pledged nearly all of its Bitcoin stash to Coinbase as a collateral for trading strategies. Why would GME lock up 5,000 Bitcoin when that very capital could be used for a potential merger or acquisition? Simple. It's locked down. They can't use Bitcoin for anything other than trading. And it certainly isn't available for a merger. I'm going to go one deeper for going back to AMC. Amazon isn't buying AMC. Folks, they are not interested in a brick and mortar movie theater company. They are not. While the idea is great, it still doesn't do anything for you. And why would Adam Aaron, who has been nothing but faithful and trustworthy and upfront about everything that he has done for this community, go ahead and give you all these different amenities, these new screens, all brand new theaters, all brand new seats, an experience of a lifetime at a movie theater for an acquiring company to come in? And then, Nachi, you say that you worked in mergers and acquisitions before. Why the fuck would you tell it before a CEO would? That is an outright lie. And I'm sick and tired of trying to defend this community over nonsense. I will protect you. I will do everything I possibly can. But this is garbage.
Battle's real. I always said the social media aspect fight is harder than the ticker fight itself.
But this is garbage. Garbage. I know it's okay to dream, and I know it's okay to hope and think and communicate with the ideas. But when it's going ahead and confusing you and not giving you fact, but narrative-driven nonsense, that's why I get upset.
It's all implemented to drive emotion to create behavior.
Correct. So why are we being fed these merger rumors? It's distraction. It's about keeping us confused, making us think there's a chance when really the actual move here is for the elites to keep making money while the rest of us chase our tails. The narrative is being pushed. It is just disinformation, and we're all falling for it.
You know what's really obvious?
Huh?
How quick the narrative flipped from mergers and acquisitions based on balance sheet whitewashing to reverse split. No fucking merger is going to happen on a company and then flip the narrative to a reverse split.
No,
like
not like that.
The paradox in itself of the contrary cause and effects of both them statements within a 2-3 week time frame.
I mean, it just
shows you how ridiculous both of them are.
just on a whim. I mean, nothing, just a whim. Now, let me tell you why I know this. I've worked at Citi. I've worked at Deutsche Bank. I've worked for Wells Fargo. I've seen how the system works from the inside. I've been in these training sessions, the corporate meetings. I've watched firsthand as employees, just like me, were handpicked for special programs that gave them perks and benefits far beyond the reach of a regular employee. Some of my own processors left my underwriting groups because they were selected to be in those elite training classes where the real money is made and where you get access to special deals and protection where things go south. Regular employees, they don't get that. They're left to pick up the pieces when the financial game goes wrong. These aren't just corporate perks. This is the elite training designed to manipulate the system for personal gain while the rest of us are left holding the bag. The truth is, the elites have designed this system to keep the rest of us down. It's all about profit, control, and manipulation. They've spent decades refining a system that exploits relationships, destroys communities, and profits off of social disconnect. Financial industry's secret weapon is social inhumanity. They know how to break trust and weaken social bonds in order to maximize profits. They don't give a rat's ass about human connections. They don't care about social responsibility. The only thing they care about is squeezing every penny they can out of the financial system, no matter who they have to crush in the process. And here's the kicker. While these elites manipulate the system, we're left in the dust. They've infiltrated the communities, built trust, and then sold it all out for their own gain. These so-called influencers, the people who pretend to care about retail traders, are the real wolves in sheep's clothing. They know exactly how to bait you into following them, only to turn around and crush your community when the time is right. Think of phase 2. You've heard it all before. I know you have. Phase 2. And all while the hedge funds, the big banks, are laughing all the way to the bank. So what does this mean for you, the retail trader? It's time to wake the fuck up. It's time to stop being manipulated by a system that's being exploiting you from the beginning. I'm not here to be a hero. I don't care about followers or clicks. What I care about is helping you win, not just for yourself, but for everyone in the meme stock community. We've been sold a false narrative. It's time we take back control of the market and our futures. The elite system is built on manipulation, exploitation, and dehumanization. But that doesn't mean we can't change the game. We don't have to play by their rules. We can fight back, take control, and build a community that doesn't just survive the collapse, but comes out on top together. The time has come for us to stop playing the victim and start winning. Are you in? This is a war for control, not just over markets, but over human connection. The elites have rigged the game, but we have the power to flip the script. We don't need to be the victims of the system no more. It's time for you to arm yourself with truth. See through the lies and fight for the future of retail traders. This isn't just about AMC and GME or any other stock. It's about us, the retail traders, reclaiming what is rightfully ours. control over our financial futures and the communities we've worked so hard to build. The question isn't if the financial collapse will happen, it's when. And when it does, the question is who will survive? Will it be the elites who engineered this crisis, or will it be us? The people who took a stand, fought back. The choice is yours. As always, Matt, thank you. Chaotic, thank you as well.
Yeah, just remember that no matter what happens with this, it's not going to do less.
Oh,
And
I am
it's
worried
going to
about
have
that.
to eventually realize that value. Eventually, the capex is going to be complete. The value is going to be realized. The box office has to return. An entire industry depends on it. They can't shut it, the whole fucking thing down.
I know that.
Everything connected to it. But people out there that don't know that need to know that, because we are 40% of the theatrical industry. But that theatrical industry that is movie theaters is a small portion of the cross industry as a whole. When you talk about productions, Hollywood, movies, actors, writers, props, it's an entire industry built around theaters. So when they say we have captured 40% of the box office, a failure in 40% of the box office from a theatrical standpoint cannot fucking fail. It can change ownerships. It can change control hands. It can change who profits from that ownership. If you let it. Reverse mergers, all these corporate stuff, all this Wall Street stuff does not change ownership.
No. You still have the decision. You can rewrite the
They
ship.
want the ownership because it's 40% of not just the theater market. It is 40% of every connective tissue, IMAX, studios, actors, all the writers, all the camera operators, all the producers, the advertising, the popcorn,
It's money.
the real estate.
Just break down. It's money.
It's money, and being 40% of just the theatrical end of it really barely touches the scale of the importance of AMC as a global corporation that it is.
GME as well. And every other meme stock. You all have your rights. You all deserve your day in the sun. You really do. Matt, like I said, thank you as always. Chaotic, I know you had to put Little Man to bed, but thank you as well. As always, I redesigned Joker Ape. He can now walk and talk. I'll be around.
You wake up with? That weakness you carry every damn day? That job you hate? That body you despise? That dream you keep burying under excuses? You chose it. Every second you let it continue, you're making the decision to stay the same. Life ain't waiting for you. The world doesn't give a damn about your sob story. It will crush you, break you, and leave you behind if you let it. You think tomorrow's gonna be different? You think change just happens? Bullshit. You make it happen. You want strength? Build it. You want success? Earn it. You want freedom? Suffer for it. There's no easy way out. No shortcut. No handout. Just you versus you every damn day. So stop lying to yourself. Stop pretending you're a victim of your own life. You're the architect. You either grab that hammer and start building something unbreakable. Or you sit in the ruins of the life you refuse to change. You are not stuck. You are comfortable. And comfort is a slow poison that kills more dreams than failure ever could. So get up, get after it, and make the hard choice. Because if you don't, then stop complaining. You chose this. And if you chose this, then own it. Stop whining. Stop blaming. Stop waiting. Own the fact that every damn second you refuse to change, you're digging your own grave. One excuse, one skipped workout, one wasted hour at a time. People love to act like life is happening to them, like they're trapped. But here's the truth. You're not trapped. You're caged by your own weakness. And that cage, it ain't locked. It never was. You just got so used to sitting in it that you forgot you could break out any damn time you decide to. But that's the thing, isn't it? Most people don't want to change. They want to complain. They want to talk about how bad they have it, how life is unfair, how they wish things were different. But wishing is for the weak. Action is for the relentless. You want out? Then suffer for it. Bleed for it. Crawl if you have to. Because change isn't given, it's taken. And the price? Pain. Sacrifice. Discipline when your body screams for comfort. There's no other way. So make your choice. Stay exactly where you are and accept the regret that's coming for you. Or stand the hell up, face the fire, and burn away the version of yourself that's been holding you back. No more I can't. No more I'll do it later. Either change or admit you're choosing to stay weak. But understand this. One day, time will make that choice for you. And when that day comes, you better pray you don't wake up realizing you wasted every damn opportunity to become who you were meant to be. Because when that moment comes, when the weight of every missed chance, every excuse, every wasted day slams into your chest like a freight train, there will be no rewind button, no do-overs, just the cold, brutal truth that you had the power to change and you pissed it away. And that's when reality hits the hardest. Not in the middle of your excuses, but years later, when you look in the mirror and realize you settled. You let weakness win. You let fear write your story. And now, it's too late. But right now, you still have time. You still have breath in your lungs and blood in your veins. So what the hell are you waiting for? No one is coming to save you. No one is going to hand you discipline, strength, or success. You have to take it. Rip it from life's hands with your own damn effort. Wake up earlier. Train harder. Work longer. Cut out the distractions. Kill the old version of you. The one who accepted mediocrity. The one who sat back while his dreams rotted in the graveyard of someday. Because someday is a lie. It's the word of the weak. The word of those who let time eat them alive while they wait for the perfect moment that will never come. So, this is it. Right now, the choice. Stay comfortable, stay soft, and watch your potential decay. Or suffer now, push through the pain, and forge yourself into something unstoppable. But make no mistake, what you're not changing, you are choosing. So what's it gonna be? Because this is where most people quit. Right here. They hear the truth, they feel the fire for a moment, but then they go right back to the same weak patterns. They hit snooze. They skip the workout. They talk about changing instead of actually doing it. And that's why most people never make it. They don't have the guts to suffer. But if you're still here, if you're still reading this, then there's a part of you that knows you were made for more. You can feel it burning inside you, buried under years of comfort, doubt, and bullshit excuses. That part of you is screaming for war. It's begging you to stop settling, to stop choosing the easy road, to finally do what needs to be done. But here's the catch. Nobody can do it for you. You either move forward or you stay exactly where you are. And if you stay, understand this. You are making a choice to be less, a choice to let fear win, a choice to wake up every day knowing you are not who you could be. And that should haunt you. Because if you don't change now, then when? Next week? Next year? When you're older, weaker, and filled with regret? The time is now. It always has been. So you have two options. One, stay the same. Keep lying to yourself. Keep choosing comfort over greatness. Keep watching your life slip through your fingers. Second change. Right now, not tomorrow, not when it's convenient. Now get up, get to work. Tear yourself apart and build something stronger. But whatever you do, don't sit there pretending you don't have a choice. You do. You always have. So stop waiting, stop wishing. Make the choice that will make you unbreakable.
Yeah, it's time to close it down. Security James, locking it now. Joker Ape Quinn, Matt, we run this town. Steel door slam like phase low. If you've been with us, you already know. This is the AMC Ape Cage. We don't calm down, we break. Ripping through the bars, feel the shake. Stock bonds, swaps, watch them break. Joker Ape Quinn with a flame. Crazy angry, mad, untamed. Stock bonds, swaps, frame. We on this wall as we claim. This is the AMC Ape Cage. Echo that raise, that raise. Tap on the glass for the wave. This is the market's grade. This is the AMC Ape Cage. Echo that raise, that raise. Tap on the glass for the wave. This is the market's grade. Back in the cage, we in the storm. Joker Ape Quinn, Matt, watch it transform. Steel door slam, the crowd's hype. You're in the cage, and I don't care on the hype. Numbers running like a ticking clock. Flipping the game, got the market locked. Hedges in my pocket, stacked up high. We own this, don't even try to deny. Every spread, every ticket's all ours. We climb the charts like we moving with stars on the glitch in the graph. Can't be erased, stopping chaos, see the market break. They toss, babe, we spot those lies. Every candle swings, every sharp rise. We don't fall, we're built to rise. We break the game, no compromise. This is the AMC Ape. We don't calm down, we break. Ripping through the bars, feel the shake. Stock bonds, swap, watch them break. Joker Ape Quinn with a flame. Crazy angry, mad, untamed. Stock bonds, swap, frame. We on this wall as we claim. The AMC Echo that raise, that raise. Tap on the glass of the wave. This is the market's grade. This is the AMC Tap on that raise, that raise. Tap on the glass of the wave. This is the market's grade. Here comes Quinn, look at that grin. Brain so sharp, cut deep, let's begin. Metals, futures, don't play pretend. Check the ratio, Quinn's on the mend. She's got the charge, making them quake. Is that a fair price, or did they fake? Watch her break it down, every curve, every line. Spot spread, that's less than 1, now it's time. Man stomping in with the fury of the pack. Tearing apart the numbers, watch it crack. He flips walls like prey, no holding back. Every trade, every risk, he's on track. They throw fit fast, we throw facts faster. Turn their traps to lessons, and we go after every red candle, every green surge. We don't chase hype, we break the earth. This is the AMC. We don't calm down, we break. Ripping through the bars, feel the shake. Stock bonds, swaps, watch them break. Joker Ape Quinn with a flame. Crazy angry, mad, untamed. Stock bonds, swap, frame. We on this wall as we claim. The AMC Echo that raise, that raise. Tap on the glass of the wave. This is the market's grade. This is the AMC Echo that raise, that raise. Tap on the glass of the wave. This is the market's grade. Who cracked the code, let the apes in? Who spun the wheel, now it's breaking in? Who put the car, now they taking sins? Watch them crash, every drop is like wind. Joker Ape smirking, pen in hand. This is the game, now you won't understand. Chaotic Quinn locked like a shark on land. Mass pacing the floor is part of the plan. This is the AMC. We don't calm down, we break. Ripping through the bars, feel the shake. Stocks, bonds, swaps, watch them break. Joker Ape Quinn with a flame. Crazy angry, mad, untamed. Stock, bonds, swap, frame. We on this wall as we claim. The AMC. Echo that raise, that raise. Tap on the glass for the wave. This is the market's grade. This is the AMC. Echo that raise, that raise. Tap on the glass for the wave. This is the market's grade. is all I can scar. We feel a mother never on every car. You with Quinn, mad but a slave. The dean's ours, me get on wet. You know the drink, we don't miss drinks. Take control, at the stage. See your legs stand, don't meditate. AMC Ape Cage, second phase. Yeah, it's time to close it down. Security Jane, locking it now. Joker Ape Quinn, man, we run this town. Steel doors slam, light fade low. If you've been with us, you already know. This is the AMC Ape Cage. We don't calm down, we break. Ripping through the bars, feel the shake. The stock bomb swaps, watch them break. Joker Ape Quinn with the flame. Crazy and get mad, untamed. Stock bomb swaps, frame. We on this wall, heads we claim. This is the AMC Ape Cage. Echo that rage, that rage. Step on the glass, feel the waves. This is the Marcus grave. Back in the cage, we bring the storm. Joker Ape Quinn mad, watch us transform. Steel door slam, the crowd's hype. You in the cage, now don't get caught in the hype. Numbers running like a ticking clock. Flipping the game, got the market locked. Hedges in my pocket stacked up high. We own this, don't even try to deny. Every spread, every ticket's all ours. We climb the charts like we moving with stars on the glitch in the graph. Can't be erased, stop bring chaos, see the market break. They toss, babe, we spot those lies. Every candle swings, every sharp rise. We don't fall, we're built to rise. We break the game, no compromise. This is the AMC Ape Cage. We don't calm down, we break. Ripping through the bars, feel the shake. Stock spawns, watch them break. Joker Ape Quinn with the flame. Crazy angry mad, untamed. Stock bomb swaps, frame. We on this wall, heads we claim. This is the AMC Ape Cage. They call that rage, that rage. Tap on the glass, feel the waves. This is the Marcus grave. Here comes Quinn, look at that green. Brain so sharp, cut deep as it begin. Metals, futures, don't play pretend. Check the ratio, Quinn's on the man. She's got the charge, making them quake. Is that a fair price? So did they fake? Watch her break it down, every curve, every line. Spot spreads is less than one, now it's time, man. Stomping in with the fury to pack. Tear apart the numbers, watch it crack. He flips swaps like prey, no holding back. Every trade, every risk, he's on track. They throw fear fast, we throw facts faster. Turn their traps to lessons and we go after. Every red candle, every green surge. We don't chase hype, we break the urge. This is the AMC Ape Cage. We don't calm down, we break. Ripping through the bars, feel the shake. Stock cross bonds, watch them break. Joker Ape Quinn with the flame. Crazy angry mad, untamed. Stock bomb swaps, frame. We on this wall, heads we claim. This is the AMC Ape Cage. Check out that rage, that rage. Tap on the glass, feel the waves. This is the Marcus grave. Who cracked the code, let the apes in? Who spun the wheel, now was breaking it? Who pulled the car, now they taking sense? Watch them crash, every drop is like wind. Joker Ape smirk and pen in hand. This is the game, now you understand. Chaotic when locked like a shark on land. Mass pacing the flow is part of the plan. This is the AMC Ape Cage. We don't calm down, we break. Ripping through the bars, feel the shake. Stocks, bonds, watch them break. Joker Ape Quinn with the flame. Crazy angry mad, untamed. Stock bomb swaps, frame. We on this wall, heads we claim. This is the AMC Ape Cage. Check out that rage, that rage. Tap on the glass, feel the waves. This is the Marcus grave. It's the end, but it's sudden to scroll. We put them ripping up, we gon' leap ball. Joker Ape Quinn, they with the swift. The tame Jones, we the way. We on the bread, we on this page. We in control, we in the stage. We see the match, I'm all in the back. AMC Ape, we second frame.